Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to listen to the incomparable Win Twice Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, Scott and Holly. So sit back, relax, and prepare to be entertained.
Hello everybody and welcome to episode number 17 of the Win Twice Wrestling Podcast with your hosts Scott and Holly.
Hello.
How you doing, Holly?
No, I'm okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Feeling good? Feeling positive?
Great. Full of all the joys, yes.
Is it because we've just finished work and we feel a little bit jaded?
A little.
But I'm sure that won't come across in this episode.
Maybe.
It's a little bit different actually, this episode, from what we've done on the previous ones. Obviously this is the first non-pay-per-view or premium live event that we've covered. So you'd think that being, an hour and 45 minutes as opposed to 3 hours, 3.5 hours would mean less notes for one of the co-hosts.
Well, it wasn't me.
You would be sorely mistaken because I've managed to clock up nearly 7 pages. So thank God this wasn't a 3-hour show. Otherwise I'd still be writing it now.
Okay.
Before we go into the episode and the show that we're going to be dissecting, usual part of the format would dictate that we cover anything that's caught our eye in the wrestling world this week. And I know that you've got something to bring to the table.
I have. It was Sting's retirement match.
Does that have any significance for you?
I suppose not as much as it should. Like, I know who he is. I know he's been around for a long time.
You've seen him wrestle in person.
Long time. But I'll be honest, the main thing I took away from this was protect Darby Allin at all costs.
I think, rephrase that slightly,
Please.
protect him from himself. Because no one's saying, Darby, I've got an idea for you.
Yeah.
So we got this, 15-foot ladder or something that we've erected in the ring. Would you mind taking your 105-pound soaking wet body to the top of that? And, don't just jump off. Anyone could jump off a ladder. I mean, Christ, Jeff Hardy was doing it for decades before you. But could you, pay homage to Jeff Hardy?
Homage.
Do a swanton bomb, but don't do it in the ring. Any fool can do it in the ring. Can you do it outside to the floor? And now I know what you're thinking, Darby. Could be that's quite a fall, but we'll have something there to break your fall. It won't be a person, no, it won't be a table either.
No.
It'll be a pane of glass erected between chairs.
Yeah.
Could you just throw yourself off that, please, back first? Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
I saw this and then I went down a bit of a Darby Allin rabbit hole, I guess. Because again, I don't know much about him either.
Prior to AEW, at least.
Yeah, but it was, I don't know what I watched. It was a YouTube video. And it was very much his backstory is pretty harrowing, blah, blah, blah type thing. And then I was like, oh God, really do need to protect him at all costs. Like,
not being funny, but without having gone down that Darby Allin rabbit hole,
I still would have thought that anyway.
Would you not make that kind of conclusion just looking at him?
Yeah.
He looks like a tortured soul, a damaged bird.
Yeah. How I like him.
He does, except the fact he's 4'0", bless him.
Oh, bless him. But yeah, I enjoyed the match.
Did you hear about the people that actually complained?
I did.
Yeah, rightly so, to be fair.
Well, yeah. I mean, unless you're signing a waiver that says you might get sprayed with a bit of glass.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, we've sat front row at a show before.
We got sprayed with deep heat, that's probably about it.
You wish you got sprayed with more things than that, to be fair. You got sprayed with beer as well, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Oh, yes.
But, I don't know, I feel like if I was sat in the front row and suddenly got twatted with a light tube, I'd probably be a little bit put out.
Yeah.
I feel like, as much as I like to be near the action, I don't want to be in the action.
No.
At least cut me a paycheck.
Yeah, that'd be alright.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want me to be the manager for this one, that's fine. I'll get involved. But, yeah.
But that was my wrestling intake this week.
Intake?
Well, I found out, I didn't know that he used to be married to Gigi Dolan.
Nor did I.
Yeah.
That's new information for me. I mean, he can't be that old. How was he? 27, 28?
Oh, I don't know. But, yeah, I didn't realise that. I didn't realise that he used to be homeless. I didn't realise...
No, I can believe that.
He was in a car accident with his uncle, and his uncle died in the accident. Like,
not to belittle
sad.
that, that's awful, but he's in a car accident every fucking week from what I've seen.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But yeah, I just, you just watch something. And he's climbing Mount Everest next week.
Yes, I heard that as well. Which, fair play. I assume he's doing it for... Is he doing it for charity?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Well, all the best to him on that. I'm sure he'll try and do a senton bomb off the fucking top to base camp as well.
But not to take it away from what it was. Like, it was a lovely retirement match. I did think it was a nice send-off. I loved his sons coming out at the beginning, Sting's sons. I thought that was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
In his actual, old gear.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, Sting is a legend. He's been going since, the mid-80s, all the way through to now. Sporadic as of recent years, which is understandable given he is over 60 years of age.
But still moves pretty damn well, I'd say, compared to some other people.
For sure. Relatively speaking, I think
Yeah.
He's injured himself in odd ways. Like in WWE, I know, well, to be fair, it was a corner powerbomb that did his neck in from Seth Rollins. That's not a move that a man of that age should be taking. But yeah, I mean, I guess it was a good enough send off. Now, please, and I'm hoping he sticks to it, because he said only thing for certain is that when I'm retired, I will be retired.
Yeah.
Please don't come back and do a Ric Flair, because I saw Ric Flair the other week. I don't know if it was this week or last week, having an interaction with the Young Bucks, and honest to God, protect Ric Flair from himself as well. Absolute legend, arguably the best to ever do it. Please stop putting him in the ring. If you absolutely have to use him in some capacity, manager but doesn't get involved.
Yes.
Because it's so sad to see, like genuinely really sad. And he's going to die. Like, he will die. He'll have a heart attack or something in the ring, and then what was it all for? I'm sure he's happy enough doing it, but it makes me uncomfortable watching it personally.
Yeah.
It's really sad to see, especially when like the Young Bucks are having to sell for these punchy. Oh, I don't know. It's just it's a sad sight, and I don't want to see it anymore.
Okay.
So that was my take on last week's wrestling.
Okay.
What are you talking about? I'm allowed an opinion that says someone should stop. But you're looking at me like I've just said, let's go out there, kill 500 people.
No, it's just you feel very passionate about it, I can tell.
But do you not feel like he should stop?
Yeah. But that's it.
Okay, fair enough.
No,
I'm genuinely concerned about his well-being.
Exactly, yeah.
Honestly concerned about his well-being. And I would hate to think that for whatever he's being paid, which I'm sure is great, it's not worth dying in the ring at the age of 60-something for. Please stop for your own sake. That's it.
Fair.
I guess that covers that portion on a nice little sad note.
Doesn't it just?
Or a negative touch. Well, let's hope the mood improves as we cover the show itself. And the show in question, we kind of came to this decision in unison during one of the episodes, didn't we? I think it was after we did Judgment Day.
Yes.
You asked me, are there any other shows that have Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho as a tag team? I'd like to see it.
Yep.
This one sprung to mind for obvious reasons. So we're actually just going one day ahead.
One day
Ramos ahead of the Judgment Day 2001 pay-per-view, and we're covering WWF Monday Night Raw, which aired on the 21st of May 2001.
Yeah.
The venue was the Compaq Center in San Jose, California. The attendance on the night, which for some reason I found a difficult number to find. I don't know why. The results I could find everywhere, but attendance was a struggle. But I've got 11,554, which looks about right, looking at the arena. And I even looked up the TV rating, which was 4.2%. So what that means, because you're looking at me like...
Nothing.
Yeah. So it's basically the Nielsen TV rating system is how they try and estimate how many people are watching a certain show. So they'll have a select group of people that they track what they watch. So let's say, arbitrarily, they have 100,000 boxes that they're recording and checking who's doing what. That is basically the equivalent of a percentage of those people watching that show. Okay. So what they do is then they extrapolate that to the number of TV sets that there are in the country and apply the same proportion. So they're saying, let's say 100 million people have access to a TV box, or there are 100 million TV sets around the world. So 4.2% of that, so 4 whatever million, are watching the show, which is really good.
Oh, okay.
But compared to these days, it's awful. Again, hopefully those are the correct figures. They're the ones that I ascertained from it, so don't shoot the messenger. With Monday Night Raw, I'll be honest, I was concerned, and I think I expressed my concern with you on how my note-taking would go.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's one thing to another thing to another thing to another thing.
Yeah, I suppose there's no breathers, is there? Because there's not that allocated time for a breather.
No, and I noticed as well... Well, I assume... Well, yeah, no, it definitely wasn't the case. They managed to time their break, so they never went to a commercial break or a pause mid-match. They don't do that now.
Which winds me up sometimes if I'm watching something.
I agree. Time it so that the matches don't overlap a break. That's my personal request, because when you're in the crowd, you've been to a TV... Have you been to a TV taping, or was it just a house show?
No, I'm pretty sure it was a TV taping.
And then they just do, like, boring stuff. Sorry, let me rephrase that. less exciting action
Yes.
in that period where they know they're at commercial,
Mhm.
and then they'll come back and then
And
they'll
pick it
just show
up
maybe
again.
one highlight of what happened, and those in the crowd are like, oh, okay, they must be at commercial now.
Mhm.
So I preferred the fact that it didn't just have a weird stop in the action, then we return and they're doing
Yeah.
something else.
Not
'cause
like
that
an
would've-
NFL game where they just stop and then start and stop and start.
Yeah, that's a conversation for another day, that one. I like myself some NFL.
Oh, me
but-
too.
But yeah, it's too stop. I can understand why someone wouldn't enjoy it for that reason.
Yes.
So once again, we get the classic WWF Attitude Era opening.
Yes.
Make you feel good?
Absolutely.
So-
This was 2 days after my 13th birthday. This was.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Do you remember your 13th birthday? Did you get anything nice that year?
I don't know if I can remember last year's birthday, let alone 13
That is
years ago.
outrageous. We went to Progress Wrestling last year, but it wasn't on your birthday day. As soon as that's done, we hear the glass shatter and Stone Cold appears with both the WWF and the tag team titles.
Getting horrendously booed.
Oh, of course he is. He's a bad guy. He
Yeah.
aligned himself with Vince McMahon. What do you expect?
I know.
So, Austin visits all four corners. He raises the belts as JR says Stone Cold is lucky to still be the champion after what we saw at Judgment Day.
Yes. But I was happy that it was the commentary team that we had.
It was, yeah. So we got JR on commentary and Paul Heyman. Great combination. I think they work really well
Yes.
together. Because Heyman is quick-witted enough to put JR on the back foot, whereas I always felt like JR had the upper hand on King.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that King's necessarily
No.
slow, but Heyman's wittier with
Yes.
his comebacks. So Heyman agrees with JR, which is rare in itself, and I think he even says that, and he agrees that, Austin is very lucky to have left with the title.
He is one of the few people whose jorts don't annoy me in
What,
this
Austin?
thing. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't mind them because they're not
Yeah, it
baggy
works.
either. They look
Toits.
like actual cut off, like straight leg jeans.
Yeah.
Like he's taken a pair of shears and done it himself.
Yes, I do agree with that, because
Yeah.
I didn't even clock that was something to note down. I did notice that he had his snakeskin
Oh yeah,
leg
the
braces
coloured.
on, yes, which indicates, as you informed me last
Yes.
time, that he is playing a heel.
Mm-hmm.
He had some great moments in this show, I will say,
Yeah,
Stone
he
Cold. His facial acting is phenomenal. At this moment in time, though, we did get an arsehole chant.
Oh, absolutely.
So that rung through the arena. Stone Cold shows the title to the crowd and screams, "Look at it!" Just over and over again. Also, the one thing I will say about him, though, is I do not want to hear the "My name's Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm the
No.
WWF champion. Ain't nothing you can do about it."
My second point is pretty sure Scott's going to crack out some Stone Cold impressions in a minute.
What?
And oh, good. More talking in the third person about oneself.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
See, you said that impression thing as a negative there.
I
I'm
like
noticing.
it. No, as in I'm pretty sure you're going to crack out some impressions.
I would like to know if I'm ever going to improve at some of them.
Okay.
Because I could randomly try and do someone, it'd be bad. And I wonder if I do it a few times.
In a couple of episodes down the line, I'll go, oh,
Exactly,
that's
that's
somewhat
better.
improved.
That doesn't sound like dog shit. So it says that even though he represents every piece of trash in here, it means that nobody backstage is better than him.
Yep.
You're enjoying this,
Yeah, I
aren't you?
really, really am. Yeah.
Stone Cold threatens one fan by saying another arsehole chant, and he is set to knock his little teeth out.
Yeah, doesn't he get a bit... I know it's not like 100% real, but
What?
doesn't he get... Shut up. Doesn't he get, like, in a face of someone in the crowd? And it's a woman, I think, wearing a Dead Man t-shirt and the bandana, and I'm like, okay, fine.
If that did happen, I didn't spot it.
Oh.
But to be fair, he should.
I mean, it
because you should be
works.
supporting him.
Oh, okay. Fine.
Austin sucks chant. And the champ says that Undertaker will not be getting a rematch, even though he considers himself a fighting champion. That's done.
My notes just say someone's surely coming out at some point here. Surely.
You are not wrong, but it's not the person you probably expected to come
No.
out. So after the Austin sucks chant, Austin wants every son of a bitch in the arena to stand up and show the proper respect. See, I'm not going to do the impression every time. We can't do it today.
No, we don't want to ruin
No,
it.
of course.
Then
'cause
no one will want it because they've had it so many times.
I like the fact that people are wanting this in your head. So why are you laughing again? I don't understand.
There was a sign in the crowd that I've noted down.
Yeah.
Judgment Day was great
What?
for me to poop on.
Oh.
That was someone's sign. And I just thought, oh, well, okay.
So does he mean that he's done a
Didn't like
critique
it?
of it and he's pooped on the show?
I don't know.
Or
It was
he
a bit
enjoyed
odd.
the show so much he shit himself?
Who knows? But it caught my eye.
I can confirm I did not enjoy the show enough to poop myself or anywhere near that measure. So after he asks everyone to stand up and show him the proper respect, he reiterates once more that nobody is better than him, and then a countdown starts.
Hey.
Y2J appears wearing a shirt that I wore as a 12-year-old because I thought it was cool. Do you remember those shirts? Like they had either like dragons on, flames, skulls. Yeah. I was like, oh. And this would have been about the time that I would have worn it as well. So
yeah, true.
Jericho taking tips from a 12-year-old Scot is probably not the best idea for cred.
He's also wearing the shiniest pants I've ever seen.
Quite.
Shiny.
Quite. Jericho asks Austin to shut the hell up as Stone Cold tries to continue. I thought that was actually quite funny.
Shut the hell up.
Shut the hell up! But it's the way that he came out and Austin looked at him and went like, what are you doing
his
here? Then
face actually was a picture. It was very good. Yeah.
His favourite face for me is later on when he's backstage with his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Brilliant. So, yeah, Stone Cold tries to continue, gets told to shut the hell up. Y2J says the topic right now, and since WrestleMania, was why he sold his soul to Vince. Jericho calls him a jackass, and that he is a bigger slut than Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, I did note that down.
That was Jericho's thing. He was always having a pop at Stephanie McMahon being a whore. And she did go through Test and Triple H, and there's alleged conversations that Macho Man Randy Savage, when Steph was very young, had some sort of interactions. Now there's no proof that this has happened, but that is strongly rumoured, and why in many respects Vince McMahon wasn't keen to have Randy Savage in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Okay.
How true that is, I don't know, but that is definitely one of the stories out there.
Okay.
Thoughts?
No.
No? Fair enough.
Let's move on.
Y2J challenges Stone Cold and Triple H to defend their WWF tag titles, and Austin mouths motherfucker at him. Mm-hmm. Jericho says that after tonight, neither of the two-man power trip will ever be the same again. How prophetic does that statement look in hindsight based on how the main event ended?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, he was very literally correct in that respect. Y2J jumps in the ring and brawls with Austin, but Triple H makes the quick save.
Oh, yeah.
Why he didn't come out earlier and let Jericho finish is beyond me, but Benoit then joins the fray with the driest hair in the history of time.
It's so fluffy and coiffed.
Austin and Triple H take their opportunity and they bounce. Mm-hmm. Strong opening segment, you think?
Yes, although I got a bit confused here.
Do tell.
Not confused.
Often confused in these shows.
I'm so confused all the time. To me, this is watching it's backwards. You're watching it, the ramp is off to the right. I'm so used to watching it the other way around.
Yeah, okay.
And the ramp being on the left, or the entrance being on the left. So I was like, hang on, I'm looking the wrong way. Like, I just got stupidly confused.
I'm trying to think how often it was set up that way. I feel like back then it was a toss of a coin as to which side it was on. But you're right,
now I'm so used to watching it the other way around. It's confusing.
Just watch it through a mirror. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Who's El Percher? Oh, it's Triple H. Sorry, I forgot the...
That's quick brain work, that is.
I made it up. I just made noises. That isn't correct. We then, backstage, so I think that's when we see an advert, because that went on for a little bit, or a commercial for our American viewers. Austin, Triple H and Vince are backstage now.
But Stone Cold does have to introduce himself.
My name is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Honestly, how is no one saying, fucking know who you are?
Stone Cold is complaining to Vince that Y2J interrupted his precious microphone time. Triple H agrees Austin deserves better and is annoyed that Benoit stopped that Jericho beatdown.
Well, also he says they were jumped, which is factually incorrect.
Triple H was jumped by Benoit.
Yeah, but not as a collective.
No, true.
I was really picking at this point. I thought, am I going to have to really nitpick this?
You do it however you see fit. It
gets better. It was just for me, I was like, oh, it's this era of backstage.
Yeah, you fucking tell me about it.
I know.
Vince tells them to calm down and get their heads together to defend their titles later in the show. One thing, actually, we'll talk about it when we get there. Pretty much every title was up for grabs on this show, except for the women's.
Yeah.
Literally, I think every title was up for grabs, and I thought that's quite cool. Because you don't really get that.
The day after a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
How strange.
Yeah. Don't know if you thought about that at all.
I'll be honest, didn't cross my mind until now.
We then see Angle arriving.
Yeah.
This man is a gift.
Yes.
He's a gift. He's walking down with a beaming smile coming down the stairs into the arena.
So happy.
He's donning a US-themed vest. He arrives in the arena and you can hear how lightweight those metals are. They're going tink, 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 which I don't think the real Olympic metals would do, if I'm being honest.
No.
Angle asks some crew if they notice how shiny his medals were today.
Ooh.
Says it will be a great night.
Which we know is recipe for disaster.
Quite. Kurt says, "Good to see you, Bob," who informs him his name is John, and Angle hilariously cuts him off and says, "Whatever. God bless America." Woo! And walks off. Love that.
Yeah, I didn't mind that actually. It was
Brilliant.
quite funny.
Imagine, though, he's been in the company since, what, very tail end of 99?
Mm-hmm.
This is not even summer of 2001, and he is this good.
Yeah.
He had no wrestling training up until after the Olympics that he'd won, and then I don't know exactly the amount of time he spent there, but that is phenomenal. Phenomenal. The only one, and I hate to say this, the only one who comes close in terms of how well Kurt Angle adapted to professional wrestling is Logan Paul. And I really hate to say it. Logan Paul is never going to be Kurt Angle. Let me make that perfectly clear.
But he's bloody great.
His promos have always been pretty good, to be fair,
Yes.
Logan Paul, and he's athletic enough, and he seems to be picking up the business that it's working.
Compared to all other celebs that you've put into...
Oh, it's not even close.
Not you, but do you know what I mean? They've put into...
I wouldn't piss on Bad Bunny if he was on fire.
This guy's brilliant.
Yeah, he's levels above, but I'm thinking about in terms of how quickly they've adapted to it.
Yeah.
Apart from Kurt Angle, I can't think of many who've done it better than Logan Paul, if I'm being perfectly honest.
This may be one of the first and only times you say something very nice about him.
No, not really. I think his persona is easily dislikable. Yeah. I reckon if I had a one-on-one conversation, I'd probably come away quite liking the bloke. Yeah. But everything that you see about him, you're just like,
he's very good at portraying a character.
Which is good. It's great. The right kind of heat. It's the heat that going, I don't fucking like you, not the I'm bored, go away. He doesn't bore me.
No.
So that's good. But yeah, Kurt Angle is the benchmark.
Yes.
For this. I don't think anyone, to be honest, will ever touch that. I mean, there's a guy in NXT at the moment, I can't remember, it's like Darren Kemp or something like that. Or Damien Kemp. He was a former Olympian, and he's just not adapting well to professional wrestling, so it shows that it's not to be expected.
It's not just about effectively the wrestling as well. You've got to have the persona.
And know how to weave an intricate match together, which he doesn't. So, I thought I'd just mention, just reflect on how good Kurt Angle was, and a blessing to the business. After that, we then go to the first match. So after all this time, I think we're probably about 20 minutes deep into the show already. We go into the first match, and it is for the hardcore title.
Yes.
Defending champion Rhino against everyone's favourites, the Big Show.
Yep.
Well, I'll get to... What's your first thought on this? Because I reckon you've probably covered off something that I have in it as well.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
My first point says, I wonder if Scott's going to sing the intro.
Well,
yes.
No, I wasn't going to actually.
No, the only thing I picked up on was, I remember watching this thing years ago, and I'm talking years. Bear in mind how bad my memory is.
Awful. Yeah.
This is amazing that some things have retained. And I remember watching this thing where Big Show said, when he walks down the ramp, if you see him touch his wrists, he does it 3 times. He'll grab one, grab the other, and that's like a hand signal to his missus.
Okay.
That I heard. Saying, I'm alright. Like Morse code.
Okay. That's fair enough.
Totally pointless, but I just thought it was an interesting fact. And he did it here, so...
I'm just grateful it was low-key. I mean, he could have just whipped his cock out. So,
yeah, fair, but,
Big Show's alright, lady.
But I just thought that's
good to
finally, know. I've known this for chuffing years, and it's been pointless in my head, and now I saw him do it. I was like, I can finally say.
He's actually been with his missus for quite some time as well, I think.
Yeah.
Unless he's, I don't know. I'll be honest, I haven't looked into the in-depth side of Big Show's love relationships, etc.
I just remember hearing that.
Well, there you go.
The only other thing was I commented on their ages, but we shall wait till they're both in the ring,
I assume they're very similar to the ones you told us at Judgment Day.
Probably, but did you remember what they are?
Big Show was 29.
Oh, you are good.
Rhino was 26.
Very good.
Yeah.
A lot of these I didn't actually Google. I just went back to my Judgment Day notes.
That's cheating. You're not allowed to do that.
Tough.
You have to do the same work twice.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I do later on.
Fine. So this was my first note, and I thought you would pick up on this.
Yeah.
And when I say it, you'll go, oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Why is the guy that lost at Judgment Day in Big Show getting the title shot instead of Test, who wasn't pinned in the match the night before?
Huh. That's a really good point.
Big Show's the one that lost.
Test?
There you go.
Oh, I would have liked that.
I know you would have. But do you see my point?
Yeah,
if I would have understood.
Crazy.
If Test had been the one to be pinned in that match, fair enough. Big Show gets the shot. Why didn't they just do a way to get Test pinned?
That's okay. Yeah, no, that 100%.
Well, I guess to be fair, they wanted Big Show to get the title, so that they kind of had to work that.
But
I would have still pinned Test.
Yeah,
Judgment Day
would have made sense.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, fair.
Because you could have done the same ending. It didn't have to be Big Show to catch the can and get the gore.
Nope.
And they play upon that in this match.
Mm-hmm.
So JR says on commentary, Rhino will get a hellacious Test here. No, he won't, and that's kind of my point. See what I did there?
I did see what you did there.
Dad joke.
Very good.
The Man-Beast throws weapons into the ring before entering, although the trash can took 2 attempts and it almost balanced perfectly.
He's not got a good track record of throwing trash cans into the ring.
I don't think he's a particularly tall man, to be honest.
No, but he's pretty jacked.
We had a wrestle with the stairs at Judgment Day, if you remember.
Yes, I do. Only the day before, maybe that knocked him his confidence.
Knocked his confidence, yeah, so he just overthrow it, if anything, surely.
Yeah. Also, this is the Battle of the Unitards.
I'm glad you said uni. Yes, it is. Who wore it better? Rhino's the correct answer.
Yeah, if I had to pick one, then yes, obviously.
Okay,
I don't
right.
like a unitard.
You are the person behind the scenes. You are deciding what everyone wears. Now, be very careful how you answer this, because I know you're going to say Test, just nothing.
No, I know. If we're talking about Test, I like what he wears. The trousers and no top. But...
Okay, so what would you put if you have to put the Big Show in something? What are you putting him in?
See, the unitard he wears a bit later on, to me, is fine. The one that's a bit longer, like the shorts are a bit longer. Okay. I think because he's a big guy, it obviously to me looks a little bit like the Andre unitard, if you know what I mean. It's more of it's edging on swimsuit unitard.
Okay, yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, like he's going to do the Olympic diving competition.
Whereas, I mean, obviously, how do I say this without sounding horrible? Big Show is another wrestler that to me just looks so much better as he's aged.
Okay.
To me, but also
have you
I feel
seen
like
him with long hair back
trimmed...
in WCW?
Yes.
Okay.
So I feel like he's better as he's aged, in my opinion.
Okay. Long hair in WCW was his best era for me.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look-wise, yeah. Because he was trim as well.
Oh, okay. But yeah, just a little bit of a longer leg.
Okay.
Like Rhino's, I just don't like unitards, but his works. But the legs are longer.
Can I throw something?
But he's got big ass leg muscles.
Like not literally throw something at you, but float an idea.
Always.
Put him in similar gear, not with the logos and stuff, as American Badass.
Okay.
Vest and like long trousers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
I feel like that. How would you? Was that an improvement on what we've currently got?
Well, I feel like it would also be very similar to like obviously they're different body types though, but like big guys, you've got Undertaker's very much so covered. Kane is very much so covered.
The Big Show different colour. Make it red. Who cares? Dark blue.
Yeah, but I just say covered, not coloured.
Carry on. That's my bad.
That's a lovely point. However,
I will put my hands up. I was not listening.
But yeah, no, I mean it is what it is. But I just there's certain breaks to the rule of the unitard. I
think Rhino falls into that category.
Yeah,
I can't imagine what he would wear otherwise. I think he'd look weird in a pair of pants.
He's got a similar body shape as Kurt Angle to me, but just a bit squashed down. And for Kurt, it works perfectly. Do you know what I mean?
He's got a very similar body type to a keg.
Stop.
I
feel like he's not as jacked here as he was in that one where we watched him earlier on.
That's not jacked. That's age and mass.
Yeah.
I think that's like kind of, and I'm not saying he wasn't in shape, but I'm saying that's dad bod strong, whereas this is lean strong. Again, I'm not slagging it off, but I think this was trim and lean and strong. But he does have some beefy thighs, as you would say, or juicy thighs. Come on now.
They're muscular, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't realise that
there's differences.
So there's a moisture factor difference.
No, we're not putting people in the same category as
Randy
Orton here.
Okay, fair enough.
Leave him alone. I miss him. We haven't watched him in a really long time.
He's been excellent. Just to be clear, it's been excellent. So I don't have to wait to get to the Randy Orton match so Holly can flick a bean for like 20 minutes talking about it. It's great. So the Big Show comes out to meet him with right hands, so before they've even got into the ring, which is also a theme.
Of course.
Hits a big clothesline to the outside, and then the two start to brawl up the ramp until Show suplexes Rhino on the metal.
That didn't sound nice, but it also did, if you know what I mean.
It's like the
yeah, like a bit Perspex kind of
but
bash.
of metal. Yeah.
But also, it was the, here we go. We're punching up the ramp, because you can't have a hardcore match that stays in the ring. And then they got halfway up and then came back, and I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah, they didn't break as many of the conventional wrestling rules in this one.
No.
So, fair play to them in that. But, again, sometimes, funny enough, I look at it differently now than I did back in the day. So, at the time, I wanted them to go into the street fighting.
Oh, absolutely. On the game I had on the PlayStation, or
Here comes the
whatever.
pain?
Absolutely. Yeah, but like, you intentionally would be going backstage straight away.
Do you remember when
Brilliant.
there was a bit, if it's the same one we're talking about, where you could be on the street fighting and there would be a helicopter come out and you'd climb up the rope ladder and then jump off with an elbow from a helicopter?
No.
Ludicrous.
Oh.
Great game.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that was Here Comes the Pain.
Okay.
Which was a PS2 classic and still considered by many fans to be one of the better wrestling games of all time. So big right hand send Rhino tumbling back down the ramp, which is when I think, oh, okay, they're not actually going to go that far. And I thought, the ones I don't like, weirdly, is I don't want to see them go in the crowd. Go backstage where there's open space, like work out what's going on. When I can just see punch, 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 punch.
But walking.
And it's not just a sign or a product of this era.
Mm-hmm.
Was it at WrestleMania where Shane McMahon and The Miz had a match? I remember they had a feud, and they had like a Falls Count Anywhere or something. And they're in the crowd for ages, and I just lose interest after a while.
Yeah.
Fortunately, this doesn't happen on this occasion. Twice Rhino is thrown into the barricade, and the second sounded like a huge crack, so I don't know if that... I would hope it was the barricade and not him. As he carried on, I assume he was probably all right. Mm-hmm. Huge overhand chest slap from Show. Has got to suck.
Oh, that's a stinger.
That has got to suck. But he misses a charge and collides with the ring post.
Yeah, again, I would say take a drink every time a ring post is involved in this show.
Yeah, and we see very similar instances in usage of the ring post in a later match. So Rhino uses a disabled parking sign to attack Big Show's arm. That sound is great.
I literally said, this is a little bit ridiculous, but the sound is perfect.
Yes. More weapons for the man-beast here. Finally, they are in the ring, and Rhino unloads with a few more disabled parking shots, which is a very weird sentence to have to write down, I'll be honest. This is something in 20 years' time.
I just went for street sign.
Street sign would have been better, but I wanted to specify that it was a disabled or a handicapped parking spot. In 20 years, if I ever unearth this book, hopefully we're still doing the show then. I'll look at it and go,
20
what?
Years.
Could you imagine? That'd be good to look back on a body of work. Oh, God, how many episodes would we have then? Many. So if it's what, let's say 52 a year. I don't know.
That's not maths. No.
It's like 1,000. Anyway, who cares? So the noise from these are great, and the crowd audibly wince as they land. They're going, "Oh!" which is nice. Yeah. That is a nice effect, especially when you know, or you'd like to think it isn't hurting the individual that's receiving it too much in order to get that reaction.
Yes.
Rhino clubs and stomps away before another sign shot, and Rap Show's arm up in the ropes.
Yes, he does.
And my God, does the big man bellow? So, Jesus.
Volume.
Yeah, oh no, that was intentional. I wanted to ruin it for people again. But he does fight back with a couple of headbutts, because big men throw headbutts.
Of course.
No luck with the choke slam, and Rhino attacks with a trash can lid to escape.
Always the trash can.
Of course. Big Show avoids the gore by using a chair, which I quite liked. I felt like I watched that part back because I thought it was better than it was.
Oh, okay.
Because Rhino goes to charge and hit the gore, but Big Show just basically throws a chair into his way that kind of stops his momentum. It's fine, there's nothing wrong with it, but I think I might have been making a note when I heard it and looked up and went, oh, that looked good. Rewound it, went, that is alright.
Yeah.
Rhino tosses Show a trash can, much like he did at Judgment Day.
And that's what I was expecting.
But it gets tossed back and Show super kicks it into the man beast. Now, again, I say super kick. It was kind of like just a thrust kick, getting your leg up as high as you can at a side angle.
I liked it, though.
Yeah. I like when they reference previous instances between the two.
Yeah.
Because from Rhino's perspective, if you're logically thinking, oh, this worked last time, let's see if it works again. Yeah,
absolutely.
And you're chancing that the Big Show won't do anything, whereas Big Show's going, hang on, I remember this story.
Yeah,
throws
it back.
I like it. Thread back or stitch back. Big Show then hits a chokeslam onto the trash can, and we get a new hardcore champion.
I, again, like his chokeslams, and this one did look...
Wasn't as good as the Judgment Day one.
No, it wasn't.
But it was fine.
But it was, I think, because it was onto the trash can as well. It was a bit like, ooh, okay.
Now, another confession that I should have made at the start of the show is I wasn't prepared to go and sign up for anything where I could see or have to pay basically to see Meltzer's star ratings on this.
Oh, good, because mine will be absolute shite for this.
Maybe at a later date I will consider doing this depending on how popular the feature is or isn't.
Yes.
So I graded it based on what I personally thought, which is what we do anyway, but it's nice to have a barometer in the background see if we agree with it. So I gave this a star rating. Let's see how close ours were. So you tell me, as is tradition, what you've scored this.
I scored it a 2.5 out of 5.
Half a star.
Oh, okay.
There wasn't really enough in it for me.
I think I actually give good bullet points as to why I think it was good.
Hit me with it. Hit me.
These are so dumb. So dumb. Considering I'm not drinking at the minute when I'm watching these, I do wonder about some of these notes.
I'm very surprised with that. I thought you would go low, but I didn't think you'd go as low as me. But anyway, please.
Perfect length. Oh, it sounds like I'm describing something else. But perfect length of
sorry,
match
I'll put that
for me.
away. Now the points on this.
Well, no, this carries on. Nice pace. Oh my god, this sounds like a rating after a night.
Appropriate amount of sweat.
Yeah. Good use of trash cans.
I really hope that isn't part of the same criteria.
And believable result.
Okay, fine.
For me, I think that's why. But I don't know. I feel like these types of shows I will really struggle to score because I will overscore them because this is my comfort zone.
You quite like a short match as well.
Don't I just? I like a quickie.
Don't we all? For me, it was... There just wasn't enough for me to care about because the weapons that were involved, it was the same thing over and over and over again. It wasn't long enough and the ending was quite quick, so I didn't feel like it gave me enough time. So when I'm saying half a star, I'm not saying I hated it. I'm just saying I couldn't... knowing how I've graded some of the others, I couldn't grade it on the same level as that, so half a star. Also,
I think because I will grade it, I then don't go back and look. So say the next match to me is... So
you don't compare it?
I don't go back and then change that star rating. I make my star rating, then I move on.
Okay. I don't know which way is the more
efficient
way or correct way of doing it, but if anyone does happen to be listening to this, hang on, I haven't finished that because there are people listening. If anyone that happens to listen to this has access to what Meltzer did score these, just put a comment on when the YouTube video goes up live or drop us an email because I'll be interested to know how we did shape up on this because for all I know, you might be right on the money with these.
I highly doubt it.
You've done well so far with it, if we're being honest.
My streak is going to come to an end
very
quickly.
So for pay-per-views and stuff like that, I'm fairly confident I'll be able to get that information easily enough. I think for any TV shows, it might be a little bit more difficult, but anyway, I'll do what I can to find that. We go backstage to Angle once more. Our Olympic hero is talking to another member of staff and notices that he'll be dead soon.
Yeah.
He said, I know you don't have many years left on this planet.
Yeah.
The irony is he probably is dead. But this was 20-something years ago. Angle says he'll give this second-class city a treat with a medal ceremony later this evening. It's something that people can tell their grandkids about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this segment...
I knew you'd like this.
I liked parts of it, genuinely liked parts of this segment.
I really liked the beginning of it, actually. This took me really right back to nostalgia. These guys are the peak of my nostalgia, shall we say.
So what Holly's describing is we see the APA in their office.
Yeah.
The first comment I've got here, and again, I will be the first to admit I cannot stand JBL. I cannot stand JBL.
I don't like JBL.
Bradshaw.
Fucking love Bradshaw.
In my head, I like to pretend they're different
people. 100%.
And I have to do that because otherwise I want to drag Bradshaw down because of JBL.
I find it so hard to actually understand they're the same person. Like, it's boggling.
I am in the same boat as you.
Yeah.
I loved the fact that they had a door...
No walls.
With no walls.
Yeah.
And yet people still knocking on this door to come in rather than walking around.
Comedy genius.
Love that.
I just like them sat there playing cards, smoking a couple of cigars, sinking a couple of beers.
Yep.
Perfect. Absolutely brilliant.
What happens next though, Holly? So they're playing cards, I
tell you what
got a couple of Cubans on the go.
A waste of fucking beer is what happens next.
Hard to argue that. We see Terry Runnels walks in, and it's clearly cold in San Jose, is what I noted here.
Really fucking cold.
Really cold. But I feel like she has perpetually cold nipples.
Yeah.
I think we briefly discussed this earlier.
Yes.
There's never a time where Terry doesn't look aroused or cold in the nipple department.
Yeah, well...
Is that unfair?
Yeah, true.
And again, as a horny kid... horny kid sounds bad. As a horny teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's when I started... Anyway.
Well, I suppose if I was 13, you'd have been, what, 12? 11?
Yeah. That's you can
So
start
that's-
liking girls
that's
then. Yeah.
prime hormone age, right?
Yeah, let's not delve down that hole too
thank
far.
you.
But yes, for me, even back then, where basically, let's be fair, anything with a pair of breasts is interesting. I never cared for Terry because it didn't proportionally look right. And I know her breasts are fake. That's her choice.
Shit.
That's fine.
Yes.
But they looked genuinely like balloons that had just been stuffed under a shirt. I don't find that an attractive look.
Okay.
So
even as a teenager, you weren't into that?
No.
Interesting.
But again, I like Trish, who clearly has fake.
Yeah.
But Trish didn't quite carry it the same as Terry, because Terry was such a wisp of a girl.
She's very slim, or in here, yeah.
Like
Very
3/4 of
slim.
the body fat are stored directly in the chest cannons. And yeah, genuinely, as a 12, 13, 14, whatever, when you're wanking a blizzard,
Yeah.
nothing
that's
for
nice.
me. Nothing for me. It's like a snow globe, my
Good
bedroom
to
as a
know.
teenager.
Thank
but
you
no.
for that.
But yeah, genuinely, nothing for me.
Fair.
And even looking back now, I go, yeah, I still don't
Yeah.
get it. So Terry Runnels walks in, clearly cold. She asks the APA why they aren't getting ready, because they've got a match with Perry Saturn and Dean Malenko coming up.
Don't know just.
They both say they are. And then Farouk grabs a couple of cans of beers and says, look at this, and starts curling the beers.
Nice.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Terry then grabs an ice cube and seductively puts it on her lips, saying it's hot, the lying wench. Tell your nipples. Sync your body clock up, because this is a mess.
I know.
Bradshaw says, so, move to Alaska and leave our beer. Great.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I laughed at this, and that hurt me,
Oh.
because, again, I
Yeah,
was
you
going,
didn't wanna-
Bradshaw and JBL,
Yeah.
in my head, have to be different people, and that's how I'm going to treat them now. Terry then opens a beer, pours it on her white top, and Farouk goes, get the woman another beer. And Bradshaw dives into the filing cabinet behind him and goes, and some ice, and gives her ice and a beer. And it's at this moment that, ignoring the door,
Yeah, they don't come through the door.
Dean Malenko and Perry
How
Saturn
rude.
blindside them. One little note that I've got from this is when they're getting beaten down on the floor, Farouk at all times, cigar stayed in his mouth. He's not wasting. He is not wasting that Cuban, my friend.
That's a skill.
It is also because they're not getting kicked. But he was just lying on the floor going. He was not willing to take that out. Bradshaw, you couldn't tell because he falls behind that filing cabinet. But yeah, Farouk was on point.
I love that you noticed that.
Because I had to pause and rewind to talk about various aspects of this. But again, another little note: they might not have walked in the door. They certainly walked out the door.
Yeah, I know. It's so baffling.
Which I still think is brilliant.
Amusing. Though.
I still think is brilliant. This might be, in fact, I'll go as far as saying it is my favourite segment, and it's not because of what Terry did.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I think I'd agree with you.
Yeah?
Well, I mean, there's one later, but actually no one needs to say anything, and I'd enjoy it. So this one was amusing.
I wonder who is involved in that segment.
I don't know, Scott.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I guess we'll find out when we get there.
Won't we just?
Now, this is a rarity for me. I put so it went from one backstage segment to another, to another, to another, and then the match. This I didn't even put a note down other than what it was. So Austin basically can't find Deborah. He goes into his locker room, that's it.
But that's it, isn't it?
Yes, I've just wrote that and then underlined it. And that's it.
Yeah, me too.
Straight into the next segment, we've got Spike Dudley and Molly Holly.
This is so wholesome.
Sitting on one of the equipment boxes, swinging their legs. He likes her, she likes him. Are they going to say anything?
It's like Romeo and Juliet.
It's like Ross and Rachel.
Different factions, you know.
That's better. That's a more better analogy. I'll give you that.
You.
I was about to say Capuchins, which is a monkey.
Capulets
and the...
Go on.
Romulans.
Montagues,
obviously. Mercutio?
He's in it, yes.
He's Romeo's best friend.
Yes.
See, we're touching upon Holly's favourite thing ever here.
Yes.
So she's looking at me with disgust that I don't know it to the same level that she does. Maybe we'll do an episode where you talk me through Romeo and Juliet.
Oh yeah, I'm sure people would love that.
I did say record it. Just said in an episode. We can keep that one for the private stash.
Yeah.
So Molly apologises to Spike for her cousin's costing the Dudleys in tag team turmoil at Judgment Day, which we saw. Alabama slam through the table.
Absolutely.
Spike is understanding, and he gifts Molly a pair of Dudley-style glasses.
Cute.
Molly Holly is a beautiful specimen.
Lovely.
She is a very attractive female, wholesome girl next door.
Isn't she?
Ticks all the boxes, and she just seems like a genuine sweetheart. I know we mention this every time she comes up.
Seems like a genuinely nice person.
And a good wrestler.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Especially for that era. Good wrestler. From there.
Do you comment on the advert?
I do.
Okay.
We go to an advert or a commercial again for our American friends. Chef Boyardee advert. Beefaroni, specifically. Man on a motorbike is assumed to be the American deadass, but is revealed to be someone infinitely cooler in Mick Foley. Beefy.
That is the second point I made on that. All I've got is...
I only made 1 point.
Mick Foley on a motorbike. Beefy.
Beefy. Big fan of that. Big fan of Mick Foley.
Crazy.
The match.
Oh dear.
So from the attack earlier, we see the APA.
Approaching pension age, that is.
It is. Oh, don't do that.
Sorry.
The APA, having just been attacked, or so we're led to believe, comes out looking ready to go, like they haven't just been assaulted.
Oh, fine.
Wet hair by Bradshaw, so he means business. So we've got the APA against Dean Malenko and Perry Saturn with Terry Runnels.
Yep.
Terry looks ready for bed as she walks out in a minge-high velvet dressing gown.
Minge-high?
Minge-high.
Oh, you went that... Oh.
She went that far. I didn't go that far.
Minge.
You're telling me that it wasn't?
Oh, it's very revealing, of course. But I just can't use that word to me as just...
What do you prefer, gash?
Grim. Yeah, fine.
Really? Oh, I don't like gash. Well, I do.
It's a greyhound.
It's a what?
Greyhound.
Greyhound?
Chasing the hare.
Okay. I'm learning things here, people. I'm learning things here. The one I never understood... Well, I do understand it. Was I saw it graffitied and I asked someone what that meant and they told me it meant toxic cut. No.
No, not
I've just worked it out. Don't worry about it. Let's move on.
Move on, please.
The four men meet in the aisle and brawl into the ring.
Oh, before we even get there.
Okay.
If you're going to comment on what Terry's wearing, I'm going to comment on the fact that Perry Saturn comes out dressed like my mum's lampshade from the 80s.
Shout out to Holly's mum if you're listening, which I know you're not.
She couldn't care less. But yeah, he's got one of those big ass, the big old hats on that's like fluffy and like, it just looked like a fucking lampshade.
Holly, so you came into this house before we started to kind of decorate and modify certain areas. Yeah. Not long before you came in, there were a few lampshades, shall we say, that very much fit the criteria with the little tassely bits on.
Tassels around the arch around the bottom. Yeah, cool.
But what I liked, and this sounds weird, was when I was a kid, it used to please me just to sit there and kind of...
See, I would run my finger along it. And then they would like swing from side to side.
I would do the same, but then you'd have to just kind of... Because they were always very soft, weren't they? Yes,
always.
Very enjoyable.
Always.
Throwback to any 60s, 70s and 80s designed houses in the UK.
Dear.
Reverse 3D on Malenko, and Farouk gets a 2 before Saturn breaks up the pin. I did hear the bell, actually, because I was about to comment and say, the bell didn't even go because they started on the outside.
Yeah.
It did. As soon as they hit the ring, the bell went.
Okay, cool, because I've made a comment, no bell, we just brawl.
Which was true.
And then I've not paid attention to that.
To anything.
No, I haven't. I've made a lot of notes here, but none about the bell.
Well, I was going to say, do you want to go through your notes, or how do you want to do this?
I feel like it's fine. I will jump in as and when.
Please.
Because my notes will be less...
detailed. But probably more entertaining.
Some maybe yes, some maybe not.
Anything you think I miss?
Type in at some point.
Please do. Bradshaw clothesline Saturn... What? Yep, clothesline Saturn out, and the APA drop Dean with a double shoulder block.
Yeah.
Suplex by Bradshaw and Malenko gets 2. Knees and forearms rain down in the corner, which looks good, looks tough.
Yes, no, I like it. At this point, though, my autocorrect really fucks me over, because every time I write Saturn, it changed it to Saturday.
What was it, Saturday and Marengo?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to call them Saturday and Marengo. What's Marengo?
Honestly.
I don't even know what that is.
So annoying.
What's Marengo?
I don't know.
I know Saturday's
Isn't it a dance?
You tell me, you're the dance teacher.
Marengo? But I don't do that.
It sounds like I'd have that at a Mexican restaurant. Can I get
a
2
side
orders
of
of Marengo? Yeah.
Or a drink, like a cocktail.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I have 2 of the little chili Marengos?
2 shots of Marengo.
Yeah, 2 fingers of Marengo. Bradshaw catches a Malenko crossbody attempt, but a super kick from Saturn knocks him down. Double team by the Radicals. You've shaken your head there.
Yeah, I've got JR makes a comment at some point and says, I don't know who it refers to. Yeah. Have you got it too?
Yeah, I've got it as my next comment. I think it's going to be the same one. So double team by the Radicals in the corner. Heyman calls Saturn a blonde bombshell, first of all.
Yeah.
Then right after that, JR says, well, Saturn is a few fries short of a Happy Meal.
Oh. His biscuits with no gravy.
That was what he said right after the Happy Meal. That was the next line out of his mouth. That's great. I picked up one, you picked up the other.
Wow.
What I liked is JR was trying to be subtle. He said, he's a few fries short of a Happy Meal, if you catch my drift. Yeah, he's borderline special is what you're saying.
It's like you'd normally, like if it's me, I'd say it's a few sandwiches short of a picnic.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's usually anyway, no, we'll leave that. Bradshaw then catches Saturn, which is impressive because Saturn is a beefy boy.
Always like to see this.
Don't like the next bit.
Well,
Because Holly's got neck-related injury stories. I have got ankle-related injury stories,
true.
and this makes me wince when I see it.
Yes.
So what we have is Bradshaw's carrying Saturn. Malenko runs in, so Bradshaw goes to give him the big boot, which actually would have been fine. But the way that Malenko falls, Bradshaw hasn't got any real estate to put his foot back down, so he tries to stride over Malenko, and all the weight is off balance for him. And
it's
he kind
like
of
a
falls.
roll. You see it roll. It's like, oh, no.
And he kind of falls down without having done what he intended. That was quite uncomfortable. Body slam by Farouk on Saturn, who reverses a gut wrench into a lovely overhead belly throw. Very much enjoying Saturn's throwing bitches
Very
round.
nice, yeah.
Really good. Especially, I mean, Saturn, like I said, he's a fairly decent sized man.
Yes.
Both APA members are bigger than him.
Big.
And he is throwing them around like no fucks are given. Radicals then wear down Farouk until he fires back with a power slam out of the blue, which is a classic Farouk move.
Mm-hmm.
Bradshaw, interesting Farouk fact, actually. Just thought of it.
Hit me with it.
So before Farouk came to the WWF, he went under his real name, which is Ron Simmons. So you've probably heard him referred to as Ron Simmons just outside of... Well, to be fair, they haven't called him Farouk for a long time, really. He was in WCW before he came to the WWF, and under his name Ron Simmons, he was the first ever recognised Black World Champion. And yeah, I think that was 92. I want to say 1992, which you'd think it would be a lot longer ago than it was, but it really wasn't. I believe he beat Vader for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Finish that sentence.
Wow.
And yeah, it was. You never would have considered him though, because you will only know him from the WWF tenure.
For sure.
Could you imagine if I said to you, Farouk, WWF champion? That doesn't sit right, does it?
No.
And because he had a football, I think college football background. I don't know if he was actually ever in the NFL, but collegiate athlete, which you know JR loves talking about the credentials of anyone who's played college football or pee-wee football or any type of football ever. Roll Oklahoma Tide. And yeah, Ron Simmons was popular with any booker that was able to book someone as being a legitimate athlete because he had the credentials there.
Fair.
There you go.
That's a fact it did.
And then he came to WWF and they put him in like a blue cock helmet. And it honestly, I'll need to show you a picture of this. The original look that he had in WWF, he looked like a metal sperm. It was bizarre. Really bizarre before they then went down the Nation of Domination route with him. Because he was the leader of the Nation of Domination, which is when Rocky Maivia became The Rock.
Oh, okay. Gosh.
There you go. That's a lot of information for you to take in. So, after the power slam out of the blue, Bradshaw and Saturn back in, and Bradshaw hits a delayed back suplex, which looks more difficult than it ever needed to be.
Yes.
Because he's basically showing that he's lifting a dead weight Saturn. So it's actually taking more strength to do that, but looks less impressive on the eyes, doesn't it? Even though it's physically more impressive.
Harder.
Yeah.
But it doesn't give the eyes a pleasing result.
Now, you tell me if this next part was correctly timed, because I think something was off here. Because there's an awkward moment where Terry jumps onto the apron. Yeah. Reveals... I mean, she's obviously wearing gear underneath that.
Yeah.
But looks like she flashes Bradshaw. Bradshaw at no point even looks in that direction. I don't think anyone does.
Saturn does, that's it.
But I didn't even see Saturn really do it. And they're like, oh, it clearly distracted
for like
Saturn.
2 milliseconds.
Okay.
But, yeah, it was odd. It was a very odd sort of... Okay, no one's watching right now. Like...
Yeah, but
was she meant to do it earlier?
Or later?
To
me, I feel like something went amiss there.
Yeah.
And then, obviously at that point, then the crowd chant, "We want puppies."
Of course.
Standing spinebuster by Farouk on Saturn before 2 gnarly powerbombs. Mm-hmm. And the second one, they're playing off the fact that Perry Saturn's head ricocheted off the canvas.
Yes, I obviously went into another... black hole Googling this.
Please can you share this with me as we're at the tail end of this match?
Are you going to pretend like you don't know?
No.
Okay.
Or you mean because of later in the show?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought you meant specifically after this match you thought, oh, this might be worth looking into, see if it was a real injury.
Oh, well, yeah, I did. But then I realised what it leads up to, and I was like, oh, that's how that happened. Mm-hmm.
So the second powerbomb is enough to do it. The count of 3 hits. Bradshaw does what Hogan does at WrestleMania 1 and gets up
off.
before the count of 3.
Gets off.
Doesn't count in my book. But the APA have defeated Saturday and Marengo. What, Holly, did you rate this on the star scale?
I was livid, though, because I was actually enjoyed this match. But obviously I write notes on my phone. Doing that really frustrated me because it kept fucking auto-correcting. So halfway through I just left it. I've just left their names as Saturday and Marengo.
I'll be honest, Holly, even if I write down Saturn and Malenko going forward, I'm going to call them Saturday and Marengo.
It's so annoying.
What are you scoring it?
I actually scored it 2.75.
Okay.
Out of 5.
We are taking very different tacts.
Oh, I know, and I know I'm overly generous.
But I went the same direction as you.
Okay.
So I scored it higher than the last one. I went 1.25.
Yeah.
Again, it was fairly short. The action had moments like the overhead belly to belly throw I liked.
Mm-hmm.
The bit where Bradshaw came a cropper with it.
Yeah.
And can you remember really any other moments? Even though I've just listed pretty much move by move what happened.
Yeah. I suppose in hindsight I would re-score, but at this time I enjoyed it.
So
I thought it was fun.
The way I'm viewing it is going 2.5. I go, yeah, it was a good match.
Yeah.
To me, this wasn't a good match.
Okay.
It was a match. I didn't hate it.
Well, you're going to hate my scores going forwards.
No, that's fine. Like I said, we don't have to agree on it. And like I said, I'm sure there'll be people out there that are more in agreement with you than me.
I'm not sure.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I might be being overly critical on this. But having said that, I would like to caveat it that I wasn't actually angry when I started watching this, whereas I remember Judgment Day, I was in a very dark place because of something that happened in the show, not in real life. I'm not, this isn't therapy session or anything. So that didn't taint my scores. I just went with what I felt. There is one good score I've given in this show. And if I was rating the angles, the APA angle, if we're doing it out of 5, APA angle, I give 4 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
The Kurt Angle entering the building, 5.
Oh, yeah.
So,
but could he do anything, though, and you'd just be like, brilliant?
Okay, I'll tell you this. When I see something that I very much dislike from Kurt Angle, I will make a point of saying how much I disliked it.
Okay.
I don't think we've really seen... Have we seen him
we haven't
that
seen
often
much
in shows?
of him
So,
yet. No.
Judgment Day, obviously, with Benoit.
We watched him in was it the...
Hell in a Cell?
Yeah.
Armageddon?
And then there was the match where he was...
WWF Survivor Series 2001?
What? No.
I criticised that, if you remember. I said he shouldn't have been in that match. Or if he was, he should have been on the WWE side.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't make sense. The other thing I said on Judgment Day was, as much as I like him and Benoit working together, they went to the outside far too often. So I will criticise where it's needed. But promo-wise and angles-wise, I'll be interested.
Okay.
Maybe there's something on this show yet to come that I wasn't a massive fan of.
Oh, maybe.
Who knows that involved Kurt Angle.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So yeah, I went 1.25 stars.
Fair.
Backstage again we go.
Of course we do.
We go to the Alliance Commissioner, or they didn't call him the Alliance Commissioner, but they didn't call him the WWF Commissioner either. Mm-hmm. So it's something to do with the fact that it wasn't WWF specific.
Okay.
We see William Regal.
Yes.
Regal explains to a crew member why the English are just fundamentally better than the barbaric Americans, as he said.
God.
He said the culture was better, basically the education. Our children are so well behaved. Just to be clear, they are not.
Absolutely not.
Absolute Asbo nation.
Yes.
Lot of peasants. You know who you are. If you're listening, you know who you are. Keep them in line. Okay? The amount on it, right? Okay. Talking about kids that are annoying.
Okay.
You tell me if I'm in the wrong here.
Okay.
I was out at an establishment, a chain. They might have had Happy Meals at this establishment.
Oh, okay. The Golden Arches.
They could have had Golden Arches. Mm-hmm. Who am I to say? Well, they did. Yes. So it was me to say, and they did. I was out with my wife, although we weren't married at the time. Not really relevant to the story.
No, but thank you.
And there were these 2 kids. They must have been 4 and 5.
Okay.
I'm going to say maybe 5 and 6, and they were running amok
Oh.
They were sprinting around the restaurant, screaming. I say restaurant, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Sprinting around. It was in Epsom.
Yes.
You know, they used to have the one inside.
Yes.
It was there.
Okay.
Just to put it in your mind's eye. I know, appreciate that won't help most people.
No, I know where you are, yeah.
And we were on the bit next to the glass railings,
yes.
overlooking the side. I was facing the counter from my seat, and the kids were sat about maybe 2-3 tables further back. They kept doing laps of the area because of the way the seating worked, and their laps were getting bigger and bigger.
I think I sense where this is going.
And they were encroaching towards my territory. Now, I'm not the type of person to go up to someone and say, control your kids. But I will say, if you get into my vicinity and you're not being parented, I will do some form of parenting at my end. I'm not going to hit a child or anything like that. I'm not suggesting that people do that. However, if you're running and don't happen to be looking where you're going...
you put your foot out.
And I put my foot out...
Oh, no.
But I didn't do it as they were going past. As I saw they were running down the aisle, about 10 foot away, I noticeably moved my leg out and blocked their path. And I thought, if you run into me, at that point, that's your fault. Because they were looking dead ahead when they did it.
Okay.
They got up about 5 foot away, saw the leg, turned around and went on their merry way. To this day, this must be genuinely about 8 years ago this happened.
Okay.
But every time I think about it, I go, wish I tripped them up.
Oh my God. I thought that was going to be what happened. I thought these kids were going to not see you and you were actually going to trip them over.
No, I wouldn't. I gave them the opportunity to make the right decision.
Fine.
And they did.
Fine.
You've been with me where a child has fully run into me as well at work during lunch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We were walking to, I was about to say a chain of a supermarket chain. That's the words I'm looking for once I put my teeth
The orange one.
The orange one, yeah. Owned by John. And on the way there, we were just walking. I think Mark was with us at the time. I was in the middle of you two.
Mm-hmm.
And this kid was laughing. He must have been about 3, to be fair, this one. Was running towards me. And I thought, he's looking at me. There's no way he's not going to veer off. I couldn't move because I was walking between you guys.
You were sandwiched in between us, yeah.
So I had to carry on the trajectory that you two were leading me on. And he just ran and headbutted me straight in the bollocks. And I just remember going, hey! Like that when he hit me and like going, moving out the way. I was looking at the parent like, mate.
Yeah, it's a bit odd.
Like, I just remember being so annoyed by that. And these kind of things stick in my head.
Yeah.
So basically, what William Regal is saying in a nutshell is a lie. There are many well-behaved children out there. Not all of them, okay?
No.
That's the point.
No.
You must have many stories with irritating children, given your line of work.
A couple, but I'll be honest, I do let it go.
That, which is weird as well, because if you know Holly, you know that she fucking loves a grudge. Loves a fucking grudge.
Yeah.
But that you can allow go.
I think, because, I don't know, as kids, they are annoying. Just generally, they're annoying. But
I think it's when I think they
once
should
I
know
leave
better.
them, they're not my problem.
Funny enough, the kid that ran straight into my genitals wasn't the one that annoyed me. It was the ones in the restaurant where they were old enough to know more. At that age, I wasn't doing that.
No.
So, anyway.
Okay. Nice little segue.
I thought so. I don't think Jamie will be making that into a short, put it that way.
No.
Austin then appears.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Are you going to do the impression?
No, not now. I'll try and give you an Austin one later. Oh, no, I've given you a few Austin ones. You're good on the Austin.
Yeah, but this one's funny.
Oh, I don't know then. Okay, so I've
it's
just
just
got
simply
Austin.
what he asks. I just think it's funny.
Austin asks Regal if he knows where Deborah is.
You seen my wife?
You see my wife?
I just think it's funny.
Well, goddamn, son! Regal says no, but he does know the Undertaker is here, which can't be good. Has she been abducted?
Shocking.
Austin with a look of bewilderment, concern.
His face is just what I needed for this. It's so funny.
There's the one with Taker later on, spoiler alert, which I really enjoyed. So, from one angle to another, we go quite literally to an angle, a Kurt angle, with Edge and Christian.
Whoop, whoop.
As and I'm going to quote Angle here, the crazy Canucks would say, the medal ceremony will reek of awesomeness.
Oh, yes, yes.
Angle asked Christian, or if Christian and Edge, if they would like to stand on the silver and bronze podiums on the platform. And Edge says, or, no.
Mm-hmm.
And Christian refers to Angle as a special guy.
He's kind of special.
You said it. But Angle interprets them saying no as them saying, oh, actually,
It's
we
all
want the
about
spotlight
you.
to be on you. He goes,
very,
thanks, guys.
It's very cleverly done.
He's so brilliantly naive.
Yes.
It's fantastic. And that's, again, I'll go back to praising Angle, because he can play the naive goof, as well as he can play the serious I'm going to kill you guy. Brilliant.
Yeah, good.
Who can do stuff like that? I guess someone else who can do that, Mick Foley.
Okay.
As Cactus Jack, Mankind, lunatics in their own rights, and then he can play the goofy Dude Love character, or Mick Foley as himself with Socko, and it just works. Match time.
Hey.
We've got Matt Hardy with Lita and Jeff Hardy versus the X-Pac with Albert and Just Incredible.
Great.
The European title.
Fucking great.
Him with the X Factor.
Fucking brilliant. Honestly. They can piss off.
I miss the DX theme from back then. 1, 2, is this on?
Yeah, I mean, that I do like that, but... this was odd to me though, the intro. Like, I heard this music, immediately I'm happy. I then go, it's just Matt wrestling, but never mind. Jeff is still here. However, there's a little advert that comes up when their intro, advertising fat burners, which are horrendously dangerous. But never mind. Maybe not so much now, but they definitely were.
I didn't write this down, so was this just a pop up on the screen? Okay, that's probably why I missed it then.
The next one that spins across, Twix.
I did see Twix actually,
and I'm like, hang on. Take your fat burners first, then munch your Twix. Bosh, done.
Well, that's why they did it in that order. Or do you mean have the Twix and then do the fat burners?
I'll be honest, I don't get involved in fat burners. I've only heard bad things about fat burners, so don't get involved.
They're always shortcuts, aren't they? That
cause
bad side effects.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I've never...
All I've heard about fat burners is that they can cause quite severe heart palpitations. Because obviously you're speeding up your body's metabolism. But I just thought it was a bit ironic. Yeah.
Stay safe, kids.
Take some fat burners and have a Twix.
Or just thinking, go for a walk.
Yeah, I mean, but at this time I was like, oh, brilliant. We're interrupting the entrance for this.
To be fair, you can't really do an advert pop and go, hey, fatty, go for a walk after the show. Holly's favourites with her least favourites.
Yes.
I wonder which will win out.
What,
was your love for the Hardys?
Favourites?
No. Is it your love for the Hardys greater than your hatred for X Factor?
Oh, God, honestly. It did remind me how much I can't fucking stand this stupid faction. But the Hardys, the love for the Hardys will push through.
Jeff's look on this show?
Fine. Loved it. Great.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, I thought Matt's look was better on this one.
Oh, he looks lovely here too, but he's just Jeff. He can do no fucking wrong.
He does a lot of wrong.
Oh, I know, but do you know what I mean? From here, I think for the next, I don't even know how many years, he is my proper, just ultimate man crush, wrestling-wise.
It might just be in general, to be fair. I don't know who else.
Maybe. There's a few, but we don't have that long, time-wise, for me to list them all.
That would be, honestly, a 5-part episode breakdown itself.
Yeah.
You could have 20 minutes just talking about old Spunky, couldn't you? So
leave him alone.
I shall not leave him alone. So we see a toss by X-Pac from a collar and elbow, and he kips up to taunt the champion.
Mm-hmm.
X-Pac with a shoulder block and runs into a drop toe hold. Atomic drop and clothesline for a 2. Hip toss reversal, but X-Pac blocks it. Flips out, misses the spinning side kick into a clothesline. Very nice.
Yeah.
Actually very nice, that sequence.
Mm-hmm.
And you look so unhappy that you had to agree with me.
It was quite annoying, but yeah.
We then get a Lita chant.
Yes.
Before Credible trips Hardy up, allowing a spinning sidekick to connect from X-Pac.
Yes, and I think at some point around here, JR makes reference and says, X-Pac reminds me a lot of a young... No, which way round is it? Hang on. X-Pac in his early days reminds him of the current Jeff Hardy. And I looked it up and I went, there's only 5 years between them. It don't really make a blind bit of fucking difference.
But bearing in mind this is 2001, X-Pac started in the WWF as the 1-2-3 Kid in 1994.
Oh, wow.
3 maybe.
Okay.
He was proper 21 when he started
it's a baby.
in the company. So even though there is only 5 years between them, and Jeff did start young as well, to be fair, doing the squash matches and all that kind of stuff. But X-Pac was very young.
Yeah.
And I am very interested to show you some old 1-2-3 Kid footage, because he was, for his time in the WWF, doing stuff that no one really else was doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I will be interested to see it. I just don't want to see this fucking faction anymore.
Well, They weren't around for long, so
Good.
the likelihood of us seeing another... We agreed to see this show, so I felt like you must have known there was a chance.
Just annoy me. But I've seen them the night before. Not the night before, do you know what I mean? Like,
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Just give over.
Maybe some distance will make the heart grow fonder.
No.
Okay, fine. That's no. Just no to X Factor is what we're taking away here.
No. X-Pac, fine. Not,
I don't know about
all
that.
of them.
This time it's Matt who goes junk first into the ring post as the ref is distracted. Again, similar motif, shall we say, from Judgment Day.
Yep.
Okay, so we don't like interference from the outside. You specifically.
I don't.
Albert pressing Matt Hardy over his head and over the top rope.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
But stop it. Fucking leave him alone.
He's retired, so he has.
No.
Lord Tensai has retired. Do you remember when he was doing that gimmick? No. Okay, well, you got some treat in 2012.
All I'm looking for from Albert is him and Scotty Too High.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
I'll allow it. I'll allow that. Matt does help with the press, though, because you see that he was going to go between the second and third. He went, actually, you can probably get me over the top. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, fine.
Chin lock by X-Pac. Hardy fights out, but is hit with a flipping clothesline for 2.
Not a fan.
I don't like when The Undertaker does it either, because he does a weird flipping clothesline as well. And it looks more spectacular, but it looks unnecessary.
Okay.
It doesn't look like it adds any more. Because if you're trying to hit someone like I want to see, if I'm seeing a clothesline, give me a Bradshaw Q clothesline.
Okay,
or give me a Chris
you'd rather
Benoit.
a strong, heavy one than
Yeah, because that's going to hurt.
Flamboyant.
That's more going to hurt than someone going and then them flipping.
Okay. Fine. Yeah, fine.
Personal preference. Corner kicks by X-Pac leads to a Bronco Buster, and whilst not fully sold, Holly considers still trading places with X-Pac.
Oh my god.
You got a similar note?
Yes.
Of course you do. What have you got?
No. Wrong brother, Stillwood.
There you go.
Oh god, this doesn't say much about me, does it?
Get your bib out, Matt, is all I'll say. Hardy catches a boot and the two trade until Hardy catapults X-Pac into the corner.
Yeah.
I've still lost you, haven't I?
Yeah, so I'll catch up in a minute.
10 turnbuckle shots and Hardy connects with a second rope leg drop for a 2 count.
Yeah.
Twist of Fate is countered into a backslide and X-Pac has both feet on the ropes but still only gets a 2.
Ha.
I actually thought that was going to be the end.
I thought it was too, actually.
It was 2. Oh, you mean it was 2? Right, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I thought it
As
was
well.
2.
Matt Hardy is lodged onto the floor and Credible pounces before Jeff makes the save.
Yeah.
As Jeff runs off the stairs, though, he is caught by Albert and run back first into the ring post and then just dropped to the floor.
So again, if people are drinking when we talk about these damn ring posts, it's only a couple matches in.
You sound like you've been drinking then, to
I
be
did,
honest.
didn't I?
Yeah.
I thought you'd glaze over that one.
No, because I feel like you would call me out for it, because I do that a few times, and I can just tell by your face that I've made a boo-boo.
Show.
I'm still annoyed that when I said, like, Howard Wolowitz, and then I refer to it being How I Met Your Mother, you didn't correct me and say Big Bang Theory. That was like 7 to 10 episodes ago.
You know, I know that as well.
I'm still annoyed that you didn't correct me on
It's
that.
one of my favourite shows too.
Brilliant.
Oh, it's funny.
Lita jumps onto X-Pac with a sleeper, and as she is thrown off, we see my favourite colour.
Purple.
Yeah. Can't remember where it was now.
Oh yeah,
mentioned.
funny that.
Eddie Guerrero then runs out, hits X-Pac from behind,
Yeah.
throws him into the ring. Hardy hits the Twist of Fate and gets the 1, 2, 3.
Lovely. Good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Star rating, hit me.
3.
2.
Okay, fine.
Fine. Thinking back about it, I might have gone 2.5, but I'll stick with 2.
Yeah, in hindsight, could I have gone lower? Yeah, but I was happy that Matt won and it's fucking over because I can't stand those.
Well, pleasingly,
those
from your
people.
perspective, we don't see them again for the rest of the show, as far as I'm aware.
No. We do see my favourite person though, but
We do. Backstage, Saturday Marengo with Terry backstage.
I'm so sorry.
Saturn is sat there, and a light is being directed into both of his eyes, and he looks completely brain dead. Whilst this isn't a change of pace in any respect, he just says, "You're welcome."
This is when he started just randomly saying you're welcome, didn't he?
He was the prototype for The Rock's character Moana. I didn't know that.
Are you serious?
No.
Oh,
Because he
because
said,
he
"You're
says you're welcome. Dickhead.
What can I say?
Dickhead.
Except
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Funny. This was the lead up to Moppy, wasn't it?
Moppy Too High.
God.
Yeah.
Is that what they called it?
Moppy Too Hotty.
I think they called it Moppy when he fell in love with a fucking mop.
Oh, it was a good looking mop.
So stupid.
I was jealous of his hairline.
Funny as fuck. But
also, Saturn's like a killer. Like, it's just
so
weird
stupid.
that he can play that character.
There was something on Wikipedia that said, I didn't really give too much away, and I also couldn't be asked to research it too much, was that was a punishment for him. He'd done something, or there was some complaints about him, so they went, tell you what, here you go, here's your storyline. You're going to fall in love with a mop.
And yet you have fond memories of
I
it,
think
so
it's
who's laughing
hilarious.
now? Who's laughing now? Perry Saturn, Hall of Fame. Come on, make it happen.
No, the mop.
Both?
Well, the mop's no longer with us because it got fed to a wood chipper, didn't it?
Oh, of course
By
it
Terry.
did. But also,
Who
what...
gets jealous of a fucking mop?
someone with balloon tits, apparently. What would be great is if Perry Saturn, for whatever reason, ends up being in the Hall of Fame, has to come on the stage with a fucking mop.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it would also belittle his entire career, but yeah.
Some of the storylines they do, I know they're all ridiculous, but sometimes for me they go so far as being ridiculous that they're funny.
The Great Carly and the Kiss Cam.
Yeah, and the mop is fucking one of them for me.
Yep.
The more I sit there and go, what the fuck, the more I enjoy it.
It's the uncomfortable. You revel in the uncomfortableness of it, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah.
From there, we see Angle showing smiling broad. I'll start that sentence again because that fell apart very quickly.
Ooh.
Angle is shown smiling broadly as he is walking backstage. Advert. Commercial. You're about to say something.
No.
You're not about to say something.
No.
We come back. Kurt Angle comes to the ring.
Yeah, there we go. You suck.
Angle says time in the WWF is precious, so he'll be brief. He then unfurls a scroll. What is a hero? Kurt reads what makes a hero and says the fans are lucky as he is there in person. Mentions how he won back his medals that were soiled against human genitals. Didn't realise Benoit shat on them, to be honest, but... Angle sucks, is a chant. Angle, no I don't, I'm an Olympic hero, it's true, it's damn true.
I used to love that catchphrase.
Oh, it was brilliant. It was really, really brilliant. Again, he's someone that you'd love to hate.
Yes. And you know this is only going one way. But you don't know how, but you know it's going one way.
Angle says he will commence the award ceremony, and we see pyro and red, white and blue confetti fall from the rafters.
A lot of confetti.
It's brilliant. It's a good aesthetic. Really good
it?
aesthetic. Kurt looks teary and genuinely how amazing is this man and his character work.
Yeah, I've literally put he's so good at playing this character. It's
Brilliant.
genius.
Heyman is singing Angle's praises when we hear, here comes the money.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, very good.
Shane looks like a complete fool as he dances on the ramp and in the ring.
Dad dancing.
It's not even dad dancing.
It's
like the I'm cool white rapper man.
But what do you prefer? This, or do you prefer... I wish people could see what you're doing. Where he like runs out, does the funny foot thing and the hand whip, like that thing. I don't know how to describe it. Which do you prefer?
I would rather...
You can't pick neither, you have to pick one.
No, I would pick the one which ends in him doing a leapfrog and blowing out both quads. Whichever one leads to that, he can do. But it's just it's so awkward. Like I can't cheer that.
No.
I cannot cheer that, and I will not cheer that.
No, it just made me laugh though, sorry. It's because it's fucking awkward again.
Shane, like I said, he looks like a complete fool, but he also looks like he needed a few more ass kicking in his life growing up. That's my takeaway from it.
Okay.
It's true. It's damn true.
Okay.
The podium looks like a GCSE product design piece of coursework.
Oh, bit of wood tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Product design it was called when I was doing it.
Oh, no, mine was wood tech.
Back in your day was a bit
Fuck
before
off.
mine, wasn't it?
1 school year older than you. 2, fuck off.
To be fair, you wear it better than me. I mean, I'm a grizzled looking 34-year-old. Shane says Kurt has 3 eyes, but he has 3 letters too, and those 3 letters are WCW. Angle is getting angry now.
Good.
Shano starts talking about letters and words, about etymology, like this is fucking Sesame Street all of a sudden.
Oh, that would have been better. Get Big Bird out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do, 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 do. Do you remember that?
Yes, I used to love
Brilliant. He climbs the podium, calls Angle a wussy, and is angle slammed for his troubles. I like that angle slam.
Yeah. What was the point in this?
Because they have a match at King of the Ring, which, by the way, if you want to see a dangerous match for what happens to Shane in that.
Oh, is that where he gets suplexed into the
Glass
thing that doesn't
break.
smash, and then they do it again, and then he finally goes through?
This was the setup.
Oh, okay, thank you. Because some of these I'm like, what's the point? But then that makes sense.
Yep. That's what it led to, at least, anyway.
Okay, cool.
After he gets Angle slammed, the ankle lock is slapped on, and I'm cheering as a pissed off Angle leaves.
Ooh.
Give me that.
Yeah.
You come out there, just, I know it's a stupid ceremony, no one cares, I get that.
Yeah.
Who are you to interrupt it?
Yeah.
Fuck off, on your bike.
Oh, dear.
Dick. Although I will say, when Shane McMahon appeared back in WWE after the sabbatical not too long ago, I did go, oh, that's cool. Was it 2017 or something he came back? That I was like, oh, that's decent. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it very much wears out pretty quickly on me. From there, we go backstage. We see Deborah backstage. Yeah. Deborah sat in Austin's dressing room, and the man himself walks into shot.
Does he introduce himself to her like he's done to
My name's Stone Cold Steve Austin. You're my wife. No, he doesn't. Stone Cold asks where the hell she's been, and she says, well, I was getting coffee. I had to go to the other side of the building. Coffee. He's like, well, can we get some coffee machine at least closer to us? He said, I'll speak to him about it. Just because that's...
She gets relevant. A lot of ag for doing nothing fucking wrong here.
He's concerned. He's a worried husband. Mm-hmm. Did he punch her outside of wrestling? Yes, he punched her, okay, and there was a court case about it and everything, and he handed himself in. But yes, in this instance, he cared about her. Okay? And I will hear none of it. I will hear none of it.
Okay,
yeah?
Fine.
Fuck. Right. Austin says he's relieved that she hadn't been abducted by The Undertaker. I think that's a fair comment.
Yep.
Right on cue, American Deadass bursts in and gets in Deborah's face before turning to Austin.
Right. Sorry. We know these are fake set-up rooms. We've talked about this before. There's no fucking ceilings.
No door opened.
We've talked about this. I'm sorry. How did no one see him before he magically appeared on the camera?
No one heard the door go either, because he was standing in the fucking room.
So fucking funny.
How you doing, Deborah?
This is a shit I love, because all I did was watch it and go, well, you'd know he's there because you've got eyes.
Austin is stood there sweating as Taker says, it ain't over till I say it's over, son. See, it's very similar to the Austin one, but it's got more of
a draw.
Mm-hmm. It was also like, God damn. No, it's very similar,
very similar.
Well, I'm doing them very similar.
Maybe this is a workable, you practice these ones.
Stone Cold isn't miles off, I don't think.
No, I don't think it is. It's brilliant.
Stone
also,
Cold.
I just want you to practice them at home with your missus so that
she hates them.
She'll text me and be like, make it stop.
I'll just leave you voice notes at like 3 in the morning of me going, God damn, Holly, I'm really...
So funny. No, you've got to introduce yourself first, otherwise I won't know who it is.
My name's Stone Cold. Stone Cold says he didn't whip the dead ass because Deborah was in the room. His face throughout this entire segment is beautiful.
Brilliant.
He's
lip
curling like he wants to get angry, but he can't get angry because he doesn't want to get his ass kicked, but he wants to try and kick some ass.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Undertaker walks out, he's like, I'll tell you why I didn't just kick his ass. I didn't kick his ass because you're there. You're sat here. I can't kick it. I didn't put you in danger. In fact, yeah, I should go and kick his ass right now.
Yeah, that did make me chuckle.
Very good. Then we just see Shane McMahon being escorted out by security.
This didn't need... I couldn't... shut up.
That was another one-liner.
I could have done without this.
Yeah, but it kind of makes sense when you see what happens later.
Yeah.
Another match. Dudley Boys with Spike versus the Fighting Holly Cousins with Molly Holly.
Yeah.
Brawl between all four greets the opening bell because Attitude Era.
Of course.
The Dudleys get the better of the exchange and Crash is isolated. Tilt-a-whirl slam by Bubba and a leg drop by Devon. Couple of big chest slaps follow.
Nice.
Yep.
I like a nice chest slap here.
You want one now?
No, sorry, I worded that really badly.
I'll do it the Trish way.
Lick it and slap it. No. Oh, sorry. Just carry on without me.
Carry on, please.
This era for me was great for chest slaps. They all sound great.
Yep. Lick it and slap it. I just want that to go on record as what was said there. Eye poke by Crash to Devon as the crowd chant, "We want tables."
Don't we all?
We all want wood. We know that the Dudleys do. We covered that, didn't we, before?
Yeah.
And Hardcore Holly is now the legal man.
Mm-hmm.
Leaping back elbow by Devon, who then yells at Spike, who's comparing glasses with Molly, inexplicably, even though he gave them to her earlier.
I know.
This allows Hardcore to put Devon across the top rope and land a gunt punt.
Oh, yeah. So to me, I've got dick kick question mark.
No, he
But
kinda
it's that
kicks in
area, isn't it?
abdomen,
It's the
let's
one
say.
that's very close by.
Yeah, you kick him in the abdomen. You shin them in the bollocks. Let's forget
Yeah.
that. But yeah.
Okay. But it's allowed because you're not actually aiming for
And I'm
the
petitioning.
schlong.
Exactly. I'm petitioning to get this move called the gunt punt because I don't actually know what it's called.
Fine.
A stomp follows to the same area.
Yeah.
Crash clotheslines Devon before Heyman asks JR if he has ever worked with a Jew before. Silence.
Oh.
Did you not hear him say that?
No.
So I think he used a term that was like, I can't remember exactly what the term was, but it was a very New York Jewish term
Right.
to use. And JR was like, kind of, what the hell's that? And then Paul Heyman just said, oh, have you never worked with a Jew before?
Right, okay.
And then JR doesn't know what to do with that.
So just says nothing.
Silence, he went, yeah, and then just moves on to something else,
So?
and then that's it.
Fine.
Because I was like, hang on, did I just hear? So I went back and listened
And it's
to
the
it.
explanation
I
of...
think, to be fair, Paul Heyman has referenced his Jewish heritage a few times
Okay.
in various things, but that's just because that felt like a
Ooh.
hard J to drop
Speaking
as well.
of him, sorry, I should have
No,
mentioned
please.
this earlier. Did you see that he's going to be inducted?
Into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
I did not, and that is bloody well deserved.
Isn't
might
it
I add.
just?
As Paulie Dangerously, obviously, in WCW, he did work in AWA, I believe, and then
Ooh.
ECW, obviously, everything
Mhm.
he did there in WWE, one of the best of all time.
Yeah.
Easily, for me. Well deserved, Paul. Is he the headline act?
I don't know.
Because his speech is going to be the tits.
There's someone else that's been inducted, and I think it's the... I think it's a woman. With the lines over the face.
Bull Nakano.
I think.
She's Japanese?
I don't know. I
Don't
didn't
shrug.
look. I didn't look properly. I'll look properly in a minute. I think it's
because
the
Luna
lines-
Vachon's in there.
Okay.
Does she have her hair bolt upright?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Bull Nakano, and I
I
feel like I
hope
might have
that's
seen a
right.
picture of that.
Okay.
So that's why I said.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, no, she again brilliant.
That's all I
wrestler.
know so far.
Have you seen the before and after? So like Bull Nakano in WWF back in the early to coming up to the mid part of the 90s, and how she looks now.
No. Oh.
She is aged like Benjamin Button.
Oh really?
Honest to God, you need to.
She's doing a Christian.
Honestly,
Yeah,
while I'm
aging
talking
backwards.
about this, I feel like you should look that up. It is
God.
unbelievable to get
Okay.
a live reaction of this.
Okay.
So I will talk a little bit about Bull Nakano in general.
How do I spell her name?
Bull as in the animal,
Yeah.
Nakano as in Nakano.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
She was very much. She was a product of obviously Japanese women's wrestling, and Joshi wrestling at the time in Japan was big. It was probably bigger than the men's wrestling in Japan, and she was phenomenal. She obviously worked over. I think she even worked for WCW and did a few shows there.
Fuck off. That's not what she looks like now.
It is. Could you show me? Turn your phone around so I can see that.
Wow. She looks amazing.
Yeah, she really does, doesn't she? So
That's a really unclear photo when I make it bigger.
Yeah.
How is that physically
I know.
possible?
I know, it's incredible. Because
Yeah.
she was like a ferocious looking woman as well.
Oh, there's pictures of her with Oscar and...
Yeah.
Huh, right, okay, I have to stop looking at that.
No, that's fine, but you see what I mean.
Yeah,
Drastic
wow,
difference.
crazy.
But she was brilliant, and she did her finishing move. I want to say it was like a top rope leg drop.
Hmm.
Oh, I don't know if I've seen anyone do a better top rope leg drop than Bull Nakano.
Interesting.
And I don't think her hips are fucked.
Wow,
So,
okay.
yeah, Bull Nakano shout out there. Wasn't expecting that to be
No.
done on this episode of Raw from 2001. She has been on Raws, but it's like 93, 4,
Okay.
around then. I've completely lost where I am in the match, but Stomp
Very
follows
sorry.
silence after the comment from Paul Heyman. Hardcore with a high drop kick to Devon, and now he wants his flowers, because every time fucking Hardcore Holly does a drop kick, he's like, yeah, that's good, isn't it? Yes, it's lovely, move on.
Oh,
Get on with it. Bubba then stops the pin with a lovely little kick to the head.
yeah.
Suplex by Hardcore gets a 2 count. Crash then hits a DDT on Devon for a 2 once more. High angle reverse DDT on Crash, which JR didn't know what to call it, so he said an interesting power move
Yes,
or something like
yes.
that. Something very Gorilla Monsoon-esque, actually.
Yes.
Helps Devon make the hot tag to Bubba. Bubba hits a pair of clotheslines to Hardcore before slingshotting Crash into the ring,
Nice.
which in a move you like whenever they're holding the
I
rope.
really like that, yeah.
We saw a few of it on the old WrestleMania stuff, and we see it here as well. Very, 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 very dangerous flapjack that Hardcore tried to take like a back body drop. I'm pretty sure Bubba was just trying to send him up so he'd go up like that and come down, whereas Holly went up and went, I'm going to rotate.
Yeah.
Could have killed himself there. Genuinely could have killed himself. From there, Crash climbs onto Bubba's shoulders,
Of course.
but this allows the Dudleys to hit a Doomsday device.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's coming now?
Right, volume.
No, I'm telling you to do
Oh,
it.
no, I'm not fucking doing it. You joking?
Weather! to Hardcore as Bubba yells, "Get the tables."
He misses by a country mile, but fine, I don't care.
Yep. JR then fairly asks, why is it always Devon getting the tables? Why didn't Bubba do it?
Yeah, even I've made note of this. Also, why... No, just carry on. I'll ask at the end.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Molly then pleads with Devon to not use the tables, and Crash drop kicks it into both Spike and Devon as a result. Crash then goes to use the ring bell on Devon, but because I want to keep saying Devon and having to stop myself. I'm writing this, so it's not really an autocorrect. But Molly snatches it from him.
Yeah.
Hardcore then snatches it from her. The ring bell connects with Bubba's head, and Hardcore gets the 3. And I believe Hardcore patted Molly on the shoulder and said thank you for that.
It was a very patronising thank you.
It was.
Oh, thanks.
Because it was intended to be patronising, to be fair. But do you want to ask your question before we score the match?
Why do they ask for tables when they're not in matches that would allow tables?
Because I think the idea is that was the whole Dudley's gimmick anyway, and they don't strike me character-wise as the most intelligent people to be in the ring, so I don't think they necessarily care if they win or lose as long as they get to put someone through a table.
Okay. Fine.
Kayfabe-wise, I would say that's probably the reason
yeah.
why they do it.
I don't know, it's not stupid because I understand it and it works for them, but sometimes, you know, when you watch a match and they go, get the tables, and I'd sit there and I go, but why? Because that's not this kind of match.
But do you remember well, you probably don't, but one of the first things that they did...
Probably not.
I realised that when I started the conversation.
If it starts with, do you remember? The answer will probably be...
When it was last September?
No,
okay.
The 21st of September. 21st night of September.
And when they came to the WWF, one of the first things that they did was they liked putting women, or Bubba specifically, liked putting women through tables.
Interesting.
So there's a list of people that they've done this to. Females, they did it to Moolah, they did it to Mae Young. They did it to Mae Young off the stage through a table.
Stop.
Yeah.
That's scary.
And they did it to loads of them, and eventually Trish, because this is when Trish was a manager exclusively of Test and Albert, TNA,
Lovely.
very clever. And
didn't she have some,
she tried to seduce Bubba Ray so he would not try and put her through a table. So there were vignettes of her in lingerie, cleaning a table, dusting a table, spraying and wiping all the stuff, lying on it, saying, "Oh, they're just not the same without you, Bubba Ray."
Oh gosh.
And I can't remember which pay-per-view it culminated at.
Okay.
But I think the Dudleys managed to get their hands on Trish, have her isolated. Trish then plants a big kiss on Bubba Ray, who then goes into this like comatose, looking into the distance
Brilliant.
face, and then she goes to walk off going, I've just used my charm, and he goes, grabs her by the hair, pulls her back, powerbomb through the table. It's the first real big bump that she took in the WWF.
Jesus.
So their whole thing, and you will notice like a little throwback to it later on in the show, was putting women through table.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
No worries. No worries. I said a bit South African. No worries, Brew. What would you score this match?
1.5.
1.75.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just put there's some nice moves, but even if this was a 5-star match, the ending for me just fucks it up because I don't like it.
The ending wasn't
good. It works,
good.
but it's not for me.
In terms of in-ring quality, I enjoyed a few bits from Matt Hardy and X-Pac. I just struggled to get into a match with X-Pac in it, if I'm being honest. Not always, but this one wasn't easy for me. So on that basis alone, although I gave that a 2.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I think, had it not been X-Pac, I probably would have scored that other match higher based on the content of it, but 1.75 felt fair to me.
Yeah.
Backstage, Vince and Kurt Angle. Vince would like to apologise on the behalf of the entire McMahon family for interrupting Angle's ceremony. Angle then says, I'm really sorry, that I did that to your son. He said, I hope you're not mad. And Vince goes, oh, I am mad. I'm mad you didn't break his ankle. He said, I wanted it to snap and crackle and pop.
Okay.
Is what he said,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
And Angle was like, okay, I'll do that next time.
Yeah.
And for his troubles, Angle gets rewarded with an Intercontinental Championship match opportunity on the show against Kane.
Lovely. Great.
And he goes, thanks.
I think.
Dudley's backstage.
Oh, yeah.
This is the thing I'm talking
of course.
about. Devon is furious at Molly and will not hear Spike's explanation of what happened. Devon says he and Bubba have been here in the WWF for longer and they know who they can and can't trust, and that he should be listened to over Molly.
Do you know what? I don't think... Well, I'm sure I have over the years, but I was watching this and I was like, Devon's actually quite good at this.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard him say much more than, what's up?
Oh, my brother testify. Is
oh, well, yeah. But I was like, actually, this is a decent little shout here.
Do you remember when he was Reverend
Devon? Do you
remember who he was working with?
Oh, no.
Deacon Batista. That's how Batista made his main roster debut. He was the guy that went around with the money hat and the collection pot.
Stop it.
To get people to
oh my God,
pay money.
I don't remember half of this stuff.
Yeah, well, half the stuff is generous, let's be fair. There's a lot of stuff you don't remember.
I don't remember.
Come on now. Bubba, who's been silent the whole time, nursing his head, stops everything and says, well, he says, that bitch is going through a table.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, a bit harsh.
Bit harsh. I always thought, and this is me, even knowing, obviously, everything's put on, it's scripted.
What?
I know.
What?
Sorry, what should I say? Oh,
what?
Shut up. As you would say to me. What? And even knowing that, I always used to think, why don't they just watch the footage back?
Yeah.
All they have to do is they see Molly Holly take it off
That's very
Crash.
Funny, actually. Like, roll the fucking tapes.
Yeah.
Roll
so
the
go
tapes.
before you do it.
Yeah. Let's just
watch
have a
it and then decide.
That is quite funny, actually.
It's like they never see it. What happens?
Yeah.
Never. Brilliant.
Yeah. They never watch their own episodes.
No, of course they don't.
Oh dear. Hey.
Into the locker room with the Hardys and Lita.
Mm-hmm.
Matt is nursing his shoulder when Eddie walks in and congratulates Matt, saying he should now take his time, relax, take it easy. He's done his job.
Absolutely.
Matt asks Jeff if he's okay teaming with Eddie without Matt being there, which puts Guerrero out. He's like, man, what do I have to do? I've already done all this. Jeff says, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
He goes, yeah,
he's like, yeah, fine, whatever.
And then that's it. So that's the end of that segment.
Yeah.
We then see Jericho and Benoit in deep conversation. Can't hear
having
what they're saying.
a miming conversation, let's be clear. Yeah. Again, if people could see, yes.
I forgot that, I was miming a conversation, which doesn't really make for good listening. But fortunately, Holly was prattling away, so that was good.
Oh, that's nice.
I didn't mean like...
Prattling?
Sorry. Talking.
Yeah, that'll do. Prattling?
Or off. Right. Paul Heyman is staring at the camera the way a certain king stares into a secondary school window. Backstage, Austin and Triple H. Triple H points at the belt and tells Austin to remember the word team.
Mm-hmm.
Austin has a look at all times like he's ready to kill a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H blames Austin for him losing the IC title, and he says he made sure that Austin kept his belt.
Yeah.
And Austin, of course, in response to this, said, my name's Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I think I deserve better.
No one knows who he is, so you've got to continuously...
Yeah, he's only arguably the biggest wrestling star of all time.
Honestly, this is ridiculous.
And that's it, pretty much.
Yeah, but we go somewhere else.
Oh, we do. We do.
We have fucking guy.
We have Stephen Richards in Times Square.
Of course we do, not for long.
Stephen says he has a big announcement that's going to change the foundations of WWF. Before he starts uttering a word, Paul Heyman interrupts him, telling him to shut up because nobody cares, and that is the segment.
I honestly thought that was fucking hilarious.
I really enjoyed that.
Very clever.
Really
very
enjoyed
amusing.
that. I like the fact the cameras just went, yeah, all right, fine.
Yeah.
Move away.
Yeah,
Stephen's just like, you got sent
stood there
to New York to be told to shut up by someone in California. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Very funny.
Match.
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero, Jeff Hardy, with Lita, who comes out and accompanies them, against Edge and Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie and Jeff as a tag team. It's a very interesting concept for me, that. I like it.
I really like it. Tell you what I don't like, though, them all coming out to Eddie's music.
Latina. Oh, and
because
Lisa didn't
Jeff
quite know how
doesn't know how to dance to this either.
He does that and then whoop, water out the mouth.
Yeah, and then it's like his brain just kind of goes, we can't do the normal shit to this. And Lita looks, and she even looks at him and is like, I don't know how to dance to this either.
Like, does that thing and then just kind of like the finger gun
and
salute
then
and then just goes,
walk
whatever.
down. So that's my only downside at the moment.
Well, I've got a question for you.
Ooh, okay.
So
is
Jeff...
it all these people in a ring with some jelly, who am I picking?
No, because I know that Eddie's not getting picked. Not with that mullet, anyway. No, it's to do with the tyre.
Yeah.
Jeff in a lime green top. Christian wearing lime green bottoms on opposite teams. Must have upset you.
So glad you noticed that. So glad you noticed that.
I just saw it, and because normally I wouldn't think anything of it, and I saw it, I went, that's going to annoy Holly.
Yeah, it did. Do you know what also annoyed me? Didn't fucking take his top off.
Oh.
I know, sorry. But yeah, no, I was like, because it was a big baggy one though, and I thought, it'll be one of those moments, when he goes to do something and he whips it off. And then he doesn't. But also, I was like, oh, okay, their outfits needed to be so different.
Yep. That's why I didn't actually rate Jeff Hardy's look in this at all.
I mean, I like
I've
his
seen
look,
him in 3 episodes that we've covered where I think he's wearing better gear than this.
Oh, yeah, if we're talking about his gear, yeah. But
that's kind of what I was talking about.
His face and hair.
Well, his hair actually in the ponytail I wasn't a fan of either, I must say.
Okay.
Just didn't.
I don't mind.
I know you didn't.
I don't mind.
If I'm a Jeff Hardy fangirl, give me that wet hair. Give me that wet hair. Don't give me a ponytail. Yeah. It's like with you and Drew McIntyre.
Oh, God.
That's the same.
Always wet. Hair. Thank you.
Which
Sorry.
hair? Sorry. His hair, yeah.
His hair always has to be down and wet. Not fluffy and in a ponytail.
Bouffant.
Ugh. Nutter.
Fast exchange between Edge and Eddie, which ends with a Guerrero dropkick. That's really fast. Already I'm like, I'm into this.
Yes.
Tope con hilo follows, and it's such a beautiful move that Eddie hits lovely. Do you know which one I'm talking about? He's on the outside, flips over, lands shoulders.
Really like that.
Jeff gets tagged in. Shotgun dropkick by Hardy sends Edge to the floor.
Yep.
You've laughed. Tell me your note.
Well, I've got fucking in brackets. Take your top off.
Brilliant.
I'm such a fucking sex pest.
You are.
But I'm not in real life. Like, let's be clear. I would never say this stuff in real life.
No, you wouldn't.
Real life.
You wouldn't. And, you just, like, at Christmas dues, just saying as an example, to make sure that someone's eligible before you do anything, you'll walk up and ask them to show them their hand so you know, and then just walk off.
If you're married, I'm not playing that game.
I agree with that. Wait, what?
No, I'm not playing that game.
Oh, damn. There goes my evening plans. But imagine being that bloke and having a woman come up to you, an attractive woman come up to you and say, can I see your hand? Them show it and then them go, and just walk off.
Yeah.
I'd get a complex about my hands.
Only that I only want to see one hand.
Yeah, the left one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fine. But
I've got too much time wasting to be talking to someone for no fucking reason when they're wearing a wedding band. And there are some guys out there that will still entertain you even if they're wearing a wedding band.
Have a conversation.
No, I'm not saying you.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like, I've met some, we know I don't attract the stellar type. So I have spoken to some men in real life who have been married, but they'll still try and...
Oh, I've heard the message that you got from one particular... I won't go into the details of it, but there was a message you got from someone who was married, I understand.
Yeah, not just one either, that was multiple messages, that was.
Yeah, it was quite graphic.
Yeah, it's pretty horrendous.
You wouldn't let me respond though, which was disappointing.
No, thank you.
Give it a rest.
But yeah, so that's just what if I see someone I like, if I can't see their ring straight away, I will go and ask to see their hands so I can see if they're wearing a wedding ring.
I think it's because I've got smaller hands as well. So if someone came up to me and said, "Can I see your hands?" and then I think I'd been Jeremy Beadled or something like, "Oh, you little freak." Okay, fine. So that would but it's alright. It wasn't me you were asking. So and you were at the wedding.
I know you're married.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, you were. I mean, you were quite a key part actually in a particular portion of that. So after Hardy sends Edge to the floor, Jeff looks to go over, but Edge slides back in. Christian then pulls... I realise why you're laughing. Christian pulls Jeff down and sends him back first into the barricade.
Of course.
Jeff then gets thrown back in. Edge with a backbreaker to Hardy. Christian in and hits a power slam for 2. Jeff's back is getting punished in this show.
Isn't it fucking just?
Chinlock by Edge to Jeff, and this allows me to tidy up my notes.
Oh, because it's held for a little bit.
Yep. Hardy fires back and hits a jawbreaker. Eddie gets the hot tag.
Hot
Right hands for Christian and a head scissors takedown on Edge. Double team by Eddie and Jeff at this point. Poetry in motion.
I fucking love this.
I agree. Do you know what I didn't really appreciate? How small Eddie's frame was in comparison to even Jeff. He looks like a much smaller man, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Which, to me, Jeff's not a big man.
Yeah, it's odd.
Yeah, I thought it was odd. Edge spears Eddie, who sacrificed himself.
Yes.
Pushed Jeff out the way. The ref starts wrestling Jeff, and Holly gets envious. E and C look for a superplex on Eddie. But Lita trips Edge and pulls him nut first into the post. Wouldn't be
Drink.
the last time she impacted his nuts.
Drink.
Eddie delivers a beautiful sunset flip bomb from the corner on Christian, which is enough to get the count of 3.
Good.
Match rating?
Really fucking enjoyed that. I've put 4, but I think in hindsight I'd actually do 3.75. I actually really enjoyed Jeff and Eddie together.
I did.
Really enjoyed it. It was really quick.
So I gave it 2.5 because it's the first match that went.
Yes.
That was a good match.
Yeah. But I really surprisingly really enjoyed it.
I think sometimes because of the time for me, it works both ways. Sometimes it can help the match and it can hurt the match.
Yeah.
And just sometimes when I think the match is getting good, like this one, it was done.
I could have done with, obviously, a lot longer on this one.
Because we'll get to another match,
Okay.
which is it's the one that maybe ends the show.
Oh, right, yes.
I don't think it's a great start, but as it gets on, it gets better and better, and then it's done.
Yes.
And I'm like,
yeah.
oh. Well, yeah, okay, we'll get there.
Yeah.
We're jumping ahead. From there, we go straight into another match. That's the first time this happens on the show.
Yes, there's no backstage interlude.
isn't.
Everyone must have been busy.
Go straight into the Kane versus Kurt Angle match for the Intercontinental title.
Did this make you angry instantly?
Kane comes out first.
Because, no champ should come out first.
Well, you didn't spot it in the earlier match then.
Who?
Matt Hardy came out before X-Pac.
Oh, yeah, but that was over.
I can't
That
die
was-
on every hill for
It was
this.
overshadowed by who he was fucking wrestling.
We see Kurt Angle looking cautious and Kane is nursing a broken arm. Allegedly.
And Angle's unitard is already pulled down.
He's ready.
So we're not going to get the old, in the middle of a match, let me take my arms out my straps.
It is not long enough for this.
Isn't it just?
Because Attitude Era, immediate striking as the bell sounds.
Yes.
Kane gets the better of it. Because, well, obviously.
Yep.
A corner clothesline by the Big Red Machine leads to a running power slam. Angle ducks a clothesline and yanks on the injured arm. He looks for a Fujiwara but settles for a cross-arm breaker instead.
Oh, you said that word again.
Fujiwara?
Oh, I like that.
The Fujiwara armbar is where if I was lying down on my front and someone was grabbing my arm and straightening it and pulling it that way, so they would have my arm through there leaning back.
Oh, okay.
That's the Fujiwara armbar, which was invented
An
or
armbar,
mastered by a guy who was called Fujiwara in Japan. So that's why it's called the Fujiwara armbar.
But if someone uses it now, when they say, oh, they've got the armbar
They'd call
locked
it
in,
Fujiwara
that's
armbar.
what that is.
That particular version, yes. And
Okay.
then what he actually did was like a cross arm breaker, which is just a normal arm breaker that you'd see in MMA. But Kane pounds his way free, but now Angle does get the Fujiwara armbar
Yes.
locked in, kind of, ish. He drives knees in. What? Oh, he drives knees to the elbow.
Of course.
Around the ring post, Kane's arm goes twice.
Drink.
Kane jolts Angle forward into the post in response, which was good.
This started to... I did make a note here going, oh, bit of a slower pace in this one that I would have liked.
Coming up shortly,
But,
very much.
It
It reminded me of when the night before Kane, attached to the chain, yanked Triple H, so he ran up the stairs with the chair and cracked into that. Kurt is then sent face first into the steps before being sent back into the ring. Angle is quick and stamps away as Kane re-enters. Waiting for you to laugh on that, you didn't? Good for you. Back to the arm with an Americana.
Once you're out, you don't re-enter.
You're no fun. Back to the arm with an Americana this time. Kane eventually powers out with a backdrop, which was actually very nice to see, and connects with a clothesline. Angle ricochets out of a corner whip ridiculously, but it looks like it was unintentional, I'll be honest.
It looks like he actually genuinely stumbles.
Yep. And walks into a sidewalk slam. Top rope clothesline by Kane. Choke slam is blocked by Angle with a kick to the cast, but he runs into a big boot. He's then clotheslined to the floor. Then we see Shane O'Mac sprints down, clotheslines Kurt and unloads with rights. He throws Angle back in, Kane with a choke slam, and the 1, 2, 3. Kane retains the Intercontinental title.
I get it, and now you've told me the build-up, I understand. But for me, this match, you've got, to me it's Kane. You're taking it away from him, having someone like Shane O'Mac interfere.
You're kind of viewing it in a silo, though.
I know.
Without seeing what happened before it, so...
It makes sense, and I do understand it, but it was just a little... it's just outside interference, just, not a fan.
What would you score it?
2.
2. We agreed.
Oh, okay.
First time we've agreed on the show.
And I put a little note in here that said, apparently, Dean Malenko helped to train Kane pre and post his 1992 debut.
Was Isaac Yankem,
I don't know what that means.
the dentist.
Oh, yes, the dentist I knew, but I don't know what the name
Isaac Yankem.
was. Okay.
Get it? Because he's yanking
Oh,
teeth out.
boo.
Yeah, and he had bad teeth himself. That was part of the joke.
Oh, okay. And you had to have a job, right?
Yeah, and
That was
also
your
he
gimmick.
was fake Diesel. So when
That I did know, yes, yes.
him and Rick Bogner, who played Razor Ramon after they left for WCW. So after this match, we've got Benoit and Jericho backstage. Benoit lists everything they've been through together, from the dungeon in Calgary to Japan to Mexico to Europe. They agreed that they've got each other's backs. Basically, we heard what they were probably discussing earlier. They've been talking about it a long time. You need to start actually fucking
They should
coming
probably
up with a
do some
game plan.
stretching rather than just chatting.
Yeah. Main event.
Woohoo.
Got there. Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H versus Chris Benoit and
Yep.
Chris Jericho. The Chris's.
Yeah, I've just put them as Chris's.
Brilliant.
It's the worst name ever, but it's
Defending the WWF Tag Team titles. No. Champs come out last.
fine. Yep.
Austin does have an amusing interaction with the ref, though, where he goes to go up the four corners, but he then gets the ref to the point where he can't move out of the way,
Yeah.
and then looks annoyed at him like it was the ref's fault.
Oh, by this point I'd already laughed because he already dropped his title walking into the ring
Well,
and then had to go back and pick it up.
there's an unintentionally hilarious moment in this match as well involving the ref, which I hope you caught.
Oh, like, is it quite a lot later?
It is,
Yeah.
It's fantastic, though,
Yeah.
isn't it? Really, really good.
Also, Triple H's entrance. Sorry, I did it again. Triple H's entrance. It doesn't hit like this entrance. I love. We know I have a thing about this. I really like it. Doesn't hit with the plasters on your forehead.
No,
Like,
he's got a
if
boo-boo.
you're a bad guy as well, like if it's that bad, yeah, you'd have stitches. You're not want a fucking plaster.
He does have. He will have stitches under there, but with the plaster on, because if it gets caught there, it could-
I know, but you know, when you just look and you're just like. Also, to me, I'm like, oh, those plasters are going to come off because you've just put water all over your face as well. We've all been there. You put a plaster on, it just falls off. But yeah, it didn't do it for me. Sorry.
I
Not
think
that
he's
you
well
give a shit,
disappointed.
but you know.
Stephanie will probably have a few things to say about that.
Please.
She has a
She
twisted
was wearing
look on.
Damien, wasn't she? So, is it Damien?
The snake, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, she was.
Are you impressed? I put that little
Oh, I've
reference
got a
in.
comment on her later on in this show. Don't worry
Bet
about
you
it.
have.
Austin and Jericho start. No brawl before the bell, which was refreshing because it was like the only one that did that. Actually, I don't think Matt Hardy and X-Pac did either, to be fair.
Also, I hope Triple H got rid of his gum.
After
Fuck
Judgment
me,
Day.
I cannot do it in the ring, even in this. It's chomping. And it's like,
Well, he gets his
I
receipt.
just don't fucking like it.
So Austin gets the better of the initial exchange with Jericho and stomps away in the corner. He misses with 2 clotheslines and Jericho hits a crossbody. Schoolboy gets a 2 count for Y2J, but he then gets sent to the apron. Jericho connects with a standing elbow from the top, which was weird because you don't see him throw that.
No.
Austin thumbs to the eye. That's a drink in this match, by the way.
Yes.
And tags in the game, who runs
course.
straight into a chop from Y2J and a right hand by Benoit for good measure.
Yeah.
Benoit chops Triple H titty off before getting thumbed in the eye himself, and Austin is back in.
Yes.
Austin unloads with chops, but Benoit turns the tables with some of his own. Shoulder block by the champ, but he runs into a kitchen sink. Snap suplex by Benoit, and just give me that. Just love a snap suplex, love a German thrown by Benoit. It's
really
great.
nice. Really nice. And Heyman says on commentary that this is a DPA match, which I was like, what? So I had to pause it. And
Data
then I was
protection.
like, and that's what I go to.
Of course you do.
And then I was like, what is that? And then I pressed play and he fucking explains what he means. I was like, oh, dickhead.
And what did he mean?
Don't predict anything.
There you go. Shoulder block by the champ, but he runs into a kitchen sink. Yep, snap suplex by Benoit. Austin is sat on the top rope, and the superplex connects. Triple H saves the pin, and we get a mini brawl. And I thought, oh, is the action breaking down already? But it does kind of come back a little bit. Benoit is then isolated in the 2-man power trips corner.
Which happens quite a lot.
Benoit gets an ass kicking in this. He eats right hands, but does fire back a little bit, until a thumb to the eye again by Austin. But he walks right into a crossface.
Yes, it doesn't need just.
Y2J hits a springboard dropkick to knock Triple H off the apron, or as I've put here, trips, because I couldn't be bothered to keep putting Triple H.
I've just got HHH.
I've got, because when you write that, it's not as quick as you think.
It's not as easy, is it?
No.
Yeah.
As the ref shepherds Y2J, Triple H grabs a chair and cracks Benoit in the back of the head for Austin to make the cover. Did you think this is where it was ending?
Yes.
After
but
a delay...
I did know there was something else coming, which I haven't actually seen. And I was like, but that hasn't happened yet, has it?
No. After a delay, that only gets a count of 2. Austin then grinds Benoit's face into the canvas before 2 elbows and and then he ends up standing on his throat. The grinding the face into the canvas, really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, it's
gnarly, dirty
yes, exactly.
tactic. The game then pulls Benoit outside and whips him into the steel stairs before tossing him back in. 2 count. Triple H tagged back in and we see the crimped queen, Stephanie, looking on. That hair.
Oh.
That's Crimp City.
Yeah, it is, of course it is.
It was a product of the era, though. All the girls were doing it.
Yeah, it was, and I fucking wish we never did.
Were you a crimper?
I had a crimper, yeah.
Love that.
I didn't.
Had a crimper, actually. Benoit and Triple H exchange rights until the game connects with a facebuster.
Oh, apparently I've made an observation here.
Please do.
Don't know how it took me so fucking long. Both the heels are wearing their pants, and both the faces are wearing full trousers.
Okay, yeah, that is.
Don't know how it took me so long to make that realisation.
Were you struggling for notes at this point?
Maybe.
That gets a 2. Austin back in with a groin stomp before a middle rope choke and leg guillotine.
Yeah, I've put low blow-ish.
Kind of. A series of middle rope leverage stomps before Triple H returns. Abdominal stretch on Benoit. And you'll notice that Triple H positions himself so that he can reach back and thanks to Austin is able to apply more pressure to the hold. Classic early 90s, late 80s move that. Benoit escapes with a hip toss. Shoulder block connects but he runs into a sleeper hold.
Yeah.
What?
Boo.
You're not a fan of the sleeper hold?
Oh, just because every time I see one, no matter what, I don't remember what's coming, but in my head all I can think is asleep, I'm awake.
We don't quite get that.
No, we don't, thank God. But it's I'm sleepy. I'm fine.
I'm fine, yes. I'm now no longer unconscious, thank you.
Yes.
The Crippler again escapes with a lovely German suplex.
Yes.
Pleased we saw one of them. Triple H, I nearly said perverts there, prevents the tag, but gets an enziguri for his troubles.
I was at this point hopeful that Jericho would actually get some time in the ring.
He hasn't really had any, has he?
No.
Benoit gets the tag, but the ref doesn't see it. Oh no!
This ref, honestly, needs to fucking go to Specsavers, and I've put this more than once. Because not only does he need to have his sight testing, he needs his fucking hearing testing as well. He doesn't hear no chairs. He doesn't see.
He don't hear no chairs.
But like, honestly, it just made me so angry, and I think because I wanted Jericho in, I was like, "Will you fucking see and hear this shit? Come on!"
Brilliant. Triple H then throws Benoit to the floor and Austin pounces. He smashes the Crippler's head into the announcer's table before unloading with some rights. Benoit is awkwardly and hilariously rolled into the ref who's leaving the ring, which gets a laugh from the crowd and from your co-hosts.
It's very funny.
And then he goes, "Oh no, I've got to sell," and then falls to the floor. Yeah. Such a dumb move. If you can get a clip of that, treat yourselves.
It's brilliant.
Y2J and Austin are brawling outside whilst Triple H scores with a pedigree in the ring. But there's no count because the ref is just sorting out Austin and Y2J are having a lovely brawl on the outside.
Stupid. But
he's not having a good day in the office, is he?
Honestly, if I'm him, I'd be like, after this match, I'm asking for a raise.
Glancing missile dropkick from Jericho connects with the game, and glancing being the operative word there. Finally, Y2J gets the legal tag, and so does Austin.
Yes.
Flying forearm on Austin lands and a right hand for trips. Jericho then clotheslines the game to the floor.
Yeah.
Austin goes for the Thez press, but Jericho counters into the walls of Jericho. What a moment.
I really liked.
I did.
Very good.
And then we see it. It happens.
Yeah.
Triple H slides in from the back side of the ring, from the entranceway.
Yeah.
He runs in, clotheslines Y2J in the back of the head, but his leg kind of does this weird buckling motion as he connects.
It's like he does a stanky leg.
He does do a stanky leg. He's putting the dog shit out. Yeah. There's a flaming bag of poop on his porch and he is putting that bad boy out. And the way he's on the floor dragging himself along, he's like carrying very carefully his leg. Wonder what could have happened. Well, basically, he tore his quad. He was out for 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
That
and
is the...
later on, there's a little clip, as in, and you see the move, and I'm like, oh, you can see it, like, up in there, and it's not very nice.
No, it's nasty. But if ever people didn't like Triple H for whatever reason,
fucking
mad
brilliant.
respect
Fucking
for carrying
brilliant.
on with this match, because he should have been done.
Oh, for sure.
And no one would have blamed him.
Nope.
The match still could have worked, because then Austin is by himself.
Exactly.
Works absolutely fine, but credit to the man, because especially when you see what comes up
Mm-hmm.
later, good God, man.
Yeah.
I wonder if that extended how long he was out. I don't necessarily expect it would, but we'll get to there in a second. The Game has torn his quad, but he continues and prepares the announce table.
Yep.
Jericho counters the pedigree and puts what has to be an excruciating Walls of Jericho to Triple H, who falls so carefully onto his back.
Yes.
And then I've just been saying, Chris, can we not do this?
So I saw there's a podcast. I can't pronounce this guy's name. Chris Van
Vliet.
Thank you very much. And Jericho was on his podcast. Really good episode, actually. Fully enjoyed it. Where he talks about this. And he said, obviously that match, oh, I'll say that bit after, but he talks about this move in particular. He says when they get up on the announce table, Triple H says to him, I'm hurt. I'm really badly hurt. And Jericho says, okay, what do you want me to do? And he goes, just fucking do it.
Wow. The stone's on the man.
And Jericho literally is like, okay. So he's like, I do it, and you can see when I put him in it, he's got like a little twinge in the top of his leg. And he goes, well, it's like a blind, an old blind. When you pull it, it just ricochets up. Yep. And I was like, well, that's so gross.
It's a very good description of what it was, but effectively like a Venetian blind.
Yeah.
It flies up. That's
so grim.
Back in the ring, we got Benoit connects with a diving headbutt to Austin, but again, no ref.
No.
Benoit screams at the ref to get his ass back in the ring.
Yes.
And he does. He does after Chris eats a stunner in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, but Jericho pulls the ref out the ring. Disqualification. Is that not a disqualification?
There should have been many by this point, let's be
clear.
We'll
allow it.
But this ref probably didn't even notice.
He's so dumb.
He's not seen, heard or nothing.
Honestly, after this performance, I don't know if Earl Hebner knows enough to come inside when it's raining. Bulldog by Y2J, but Austin gets his knees up on the lion salt attempt. Second lion salt sees Jericho land pretty much on Austin's head.
Yep.
A hobbled Triple H misses Y2J with a sledgehammer and drives it into the sternum of Austin.
Just give this guy a fucking medal.
Benoit then tackles him. I don't know if Benoit's got the message that Triple H is ill.
I don't think he must know, surely.
Because he fucking bum rushes him and takes him down. And also, he must be like, oh shit, as he's going outside the ring. That gives Jericho the opportunity to cover Austin for the 1, 2, 3, and we have new tag team champions.
Yeah. Brilliant.
How'd you feel about the match?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah?
Well, I say, no, I'm not going to counteract that. I did really enjoy it. There's bits of it where I'm just a bit like, this is dumb. Like the stuff with the ref. But that's always going to happen. Always going to happen. I have given it a very high rating. Very high. I've put it as 2 ratings.
Okay.
I put it as 4.
Have you added them together?
And then I put it as 4.5.
Do you know what? I think I could be wrong, but I believe that is actually what Meltzer scored it. I think that's the one score I actually found because of the match itself. I gave it 3.75, and I would have given it higher if 2 things had changed. Obviously, the injury you kind of
I think I've rated it higher because of the injury and because it carried on.
Not because it's not a ballsy thing to do. Mm-hmm. I think it's so much credit should be given to Triple H for pressing on with that. Was it the wisest thing to do? No. But still, respect to the man for doing it. I just don't like the fact that it's noticeably laboured because of it.
Yeah.
And I think, as I said to you earlier, the start is pretty slow and it builds and builds and builds, gets great, injury, it's over. Give me another 5 minutes just in the duration where they then pace it and it keeps going up the gears, then I'd give it a 4.5. Yes. I'd be higher. So I'd give it 3.75, and I know that'll be lower than a lot of people would give it. And I don't begrudge your score either. No. I think that's perfectly fine.
I just thought it was interesting because after I knew obviously this injury happened to Triple H, but I didn't remember when. And then obviously this match came up and I was like, it's here. And then I did my research on all of that jazz, and I really would recommend listening or watching that podcast because it's so interesting, because Jericho is so candid And he's like, we actually didn't like each other. Me and Triple H, like, we didn't like each other.
Yeah, they didn't.
But we had really good matches, and we knew we had good matches. And he said even before we got on the announce table, he hits me in the back. And I stumble because I have to. But I know from how he's hit me before, something's not right. Because he's not hitting me hard like he usually would enjoy doing.
Well, some people work more snug, as they call it, or stiff.
And he said also, that match apparently was voted the best Raw match ever for 10 years. And he said it's a shame that now it doesn't exist. Because Benoit's in it, obviously. He said, so it doesn't exist anymore. He said, but also for them, the biggest thing was that they weren't able to celebrate their win.
Yeah.
He said, because we went backstage, and obviously Triple H, who was the guy at the time, was horrendously injured. He said, so we got these belts, and that was it.
Don't get me wrong, Triple H certainly gets his moment in the sun when he returns. So Triple H, because of this injury, missed the entire invasion.
Yeah.
So obviously he would have been a candidate. He would have been... There's no way that he would not have been in that 5-on-5 Survivor Series main event if he was around for it. Took him out the game completely. By the time he comes back...
Which makes sense for me now, why he wasn't there. Right.
He comes back early January, goes on to win that year's Royal Rumble, and his match is against Chris Jericho for the title at that WrestleMania. Then there's a period for about 2 years where Triple H is just too much everywhere.
Okay.
And dominating and domineering to the point. And it's not to say he wasn't good. I think he's better than a lot of people.
But they tend to do that with... It's a different face every time, isn't it? It's like Triple H, John Cena,
the difference
Reigns.
is Triple H had say in how much he was put down people's throats because of his position in the company. You can't escape that.
Right, yeah.
He's married to Stephanie McMahon. He's going to have more sway than most people. So I think that's why people were more resentful of the fact that he was seen to be keeping other people down because of his position. Obviously, I wasn't back there, so I can't comment one way or the other, but that's certainly how it felt watching it as a fan. Now, in terms of the decisions he makes, in terms of people that he wants to push, the people he likes are the people that I like. I've got no issue with it. I couldn't have been happier to hear that he was going to be the one making decisions in the company going forward.
Absolutely.
And had you asked me this in 2002, that would have filled me with so much fear.
Yeah.
Really would have. But I think he's doing a fantastic job. And yeah, if there ever was a highlight that's worthy of, hanging your career on, persisting after that, because I couldn't move.
Just don't think I'd be able to.
I'm certain I wouldn't be able to. So fair play to Paul Levesque on that one.
Yes, very good.
What would you score the show as an overall rating? Again, it's a bit different because it's not a pay-per-view, but we can still use the same criteria to assess it.
I've put a 6.5, 7 out of 10.
6.5 was going to be my
really?
score as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Even though the matches and stuff I gave fairly low ratings, it flowed pretty well as a show.
Nice.
A lot of title matches, which is something I'd have loved as a kid.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything where I'd watch it as a match and go, this was dog shit. Even the Big Show Rhino match, which I only gave half a star, was fine. It served a purpose. 6.5 I think is fair. And it's, like I said, the first Raw or non-pay-per-view event we've covered. Decent. You happy with that?
Yeah, fine. Enjoyed it.
Obviously, after this show, we're now back on the March Through the Mania series.
Yay.
WrestleMania 5. Our boys on it.
Can't be any worse than before.
Wait until we get to WrestleMania 9.
And you did fill me with joy when you told me he's on it.
I did, yeah. Our boy Al Hayes is back on WrestleMania 5, so we'll see that.
So happy.
We'll see that, and I'm sure maybe an impression will come out as well on that show. It sounds so sarcastic, but I know it's actually legitimate.
Yeah.
So, I guess, Holly, the usual bits of business need to be carried out. And before... Actually, no, I'll let you do it. Sorry, please do enlighten the socials.
wintwicepod@gmail.com. Insta, TikTok, YouTube are all the same. WinTwicePod. Having a lovely time with all of those.
We are.
I'm doing very little. It's lovely.
It has been noted. But no, anyone who, like I said, feel free to send an email in, suggest a show, give us your thoughts on the show. Yeah. You can give us your thoughts on shows that we've covered. And,
I like that, actually. That's really interesting when people do that.
Exactly. And any good, responses, obviously it's good, probably won't get read out. But if it's, thoughtful, etc., I'll happily read them out on the show. If anyone doesn't want to send an email in, you can obviously drop a comment on the YouTube videos of the full episodes that go up, because I'm reading those, and any, again, that are good. We've got one of our subscribers who pretty much is going through the entire catalogue that I've seen.
That's so nice.
And putting their thoughts on the shows, which I think is brilliant.
Yes.
So thank you for that, and I hope you enjoy them as they continue to be released. But yeah, just sincerely thank you for everyone who's supporting us. Again, YouTube, we're now over 500 subscribers.
I know.
Keep going strong.
Who'd have thunk it, eh?
Yeah, we're not at the point where we can get monetised, but hopefully at some point in the horizon. But again, the main prerogative and objective of this show is to enjoy what we're doing, and I think we are.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. And on behalf of Holly and myself, we will see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.